Put my shit back on this fucking porch. Yeah. I saw you when you got out the motherfucking car. You tried it. Put my shit back on this motherfucking porch. Sure. You done lost your motherfucking mind. You don't come up on my shit and take my shit. You got it. You lucky. You got it. You lucky. You got it. Motherfucker. You see this motherfucker just tried to take the car?
I hate when guys text you, did you take the plan B? No. I forgot.
Sit back.
All right. Welcome again to another session, another stream here on the Chaos Rain channel. As you know, I go by the name Chaos Rain here. And today, or I would say tonight, wherever day you are in any region here, we're going to do part 2 of the title, Give Him What He Wants. Now, before I start the stream, if you're new to Chaos Rain channel, welcome, thank you. And for those that will be new and subscribe to the channel in the near future, make sure you hit that subscriber button, hit the top notification bell for uploads or live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. You can now follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain, ERIAKA. And you can follow me and add me on Discord as well. Now, I hope I correct the name and spell the first name right, but you can find me on Facebook, Eric Rain. You'll see the symbol, the Chaos Rain symbol. Also, make sure you always get a chance to look through some of the older videos I've done on here. Some of them are very lengthy, but some of them are decent good nonetheless. What's good, Chris Silverman? And one thing I've noticed that, and this is from I've learned from experience doing content now for 3 years, that I've noticed that people's attention span is very low, and the platforms that you will be noticing now that's being created, not on this platform, but other platforms outside of YouTube, that are going to be very short based, where it really dumbs down you even further now, meaning your attention span that does not exceed a certain threshold will get even lesser. And it's really done intentionally for controlling you mentally, and we could say spiritually as well. Because for you to learn and grow mentally and spiritually, you have to break that 5-second threshold. It is now, in my opinion, it is a requirement now. No person over the age of 18 or older should be proud that they can't maintain and stay on the course and stay watch things that could potentially help them, even go as far as read books or do anything that you find boring, should be comfortable in the modern era we're in today. This world does not accept mediocrity, and it will not accept laziness, and it sure will punish you as a man, especially if you're not well attentive, well versed, and we say well prepared. Now, as you know, you notice that the chat room is not a free thing where people can speak on. For now, if you want to speak freely, you know what to do. But for those not, you can watch for the crowds, and that's fine. Because I've noticed, depending on any topic I talk about, if it's something that you find worthy and it's important, you know what to do. Oh, and another thing, because I'm looking at my Discord, because I'm just sharing a link on Discord, you got to understand Discord is not a platform that is a useful tool that we don't use enough, and we should be using more as people. Because it isn't a server that you could express yourself and have conversations. And like I said, I use it properly. Now I gotta refresh this because for some reason this is getting slow. I'm not sure why it's getting slow, but I'm gonna probably re-upload it again and see if that will work. All right, because I'm sending the information notifications out. All right, now it should go through. All right, perfect. Went through. And if y'all want, I could probably drop the link for those that want to have this conversation. Oh, really? Oh, thank you. And really, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show visuals for this one because I want to finish from the last part, move on to part 2, and give my take on it from my own eyes and my own lens. Let's see. I'm just sending out and checking my notifications because, as you know, I cannot depend on certain systems to send out notifications. Okay, so I send those out. One more thing, and I will start this stream. Well, actually, I could start with the session at hand. All right. Oh, and another thing that's lurking around, which no one's noticing, it looks like Elon Musk is in the process of purchasing Twitter. Now, as y'all know, I'm not much of a Twitter person. I have a Twitter. I don't use it much for other things besides the channel. But my thinking, from what I'm hearing, the word is out why he's in the process of buying Twitter is to control and, I guess, unregulate suppression of information from Twitter. And he does have the money to buy it. But like I said, a lot of people's intentions once they have the money to buy other bigger platforms that people consume is always you have to have a good sense of question marks of what is the real intention. Because let's be honest, Twitter is a very powerful tool, but it's not something that most people really look into besides bigger heads. And let's be honest, Twitter's not that intriguing because it's not really something that you can sit there and say, I want to know what's going on. Because a lot of people tweet a lot of things daily, and you always can't take it from verbatim. But like I said, there are some people that use it now just to spread their propaganda, in my opinion. Oh. Okay, so I'm just looking at some things. Oh, good. All right, so I send that from the Twitter. And I think that's all my links. And do I have anything else that I'm missing? I'm looking to make sure I don't miss anything else. Looks like it's everything. Oh yeah, and I can't forget this person. So it looks like we could get started. Yeah. Yeah, we can get started. Now, as you know, this one will be the visual portion of the side of things of this stream. So make sure you hit the like button and share this. What? Hold on. Let me wait 1 second. Wait. Hit the like. Wait 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Van Gogh. What's this? Wait. No. Where's my link? Hold on. Van Gogh, can you please come upstairs? Chaos wants to talk to you. Come now, please, sir. Now. I can hear this. This link is right now for Django. As you come up, thank you. Let me just remove these. I gotta make my steel nice and fresh. I gotta hear this. All right.
Yo,
what happened? Excuse me. What just happened?
I took 2 L's, bro. I did a video trolling YouTube by posting the alphabet community stuff, and they banned my channel for 2 weeks. Then on top of that, I went on The Honest Truth, and some black female terrorists got at me, bro. They bodied me.
Did they ambush you?
They got it. Yeah, go ahead.
They ambush you? Did they ambush you when you came on the panel?
Kind of, sort of. The dude, the host is a brother. You could check the link I put in the back chat and the live chat. But the brother, we was talking about the manosphere because it's about this dude that murdered them people or tried to murder them people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't go detail with this dude because I look at him as a weirdo. But
exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I was saying. Like, this dude is an outlier. He doesn't represent us, and even if he did, not all of us talk like him. You know what I mean? So I was coming from that angle, and then the brother asked me a question about something about women or which school I follow, and it led into other things. And then I said, "Hey, well, I don't like when women be lambasting and attacking, going crazy on men." Then this old boomer chick came up here and went in on me, bro. She got triggered by what I said, tore me a new one. Me and her went back and forth. You feel me? I tried not to go off on her, but I eventually called her a motherfucker. And dude kicked me off and brought me up, and I apologized to try to smooth it over. You feel me? And she went in on me in the chat, full of BWs and other chicks. They went in on me too. Some women did some, some fair stuff, but yeah, they went in on me, bro. They talked about my sickness. They said, "I'm glad you got that. You ain't shit. You 25 and you broke." Even though they don't know shit, they don't know nothing about it, you feel? Like, they went in on me. I can't even cap.
Man, I don't know, man. It's like this, bro. This is where I'm at with it. I'm not saying brothers can't attain a lot of chicks on here, but let's be honest. When I look at and I re-engage the energy of the room, and you know me, bro, I just don't go off on people unless it really. Yeah, it takes a lot to get me to go off personally. But real talk, though, I just don't entertain certain space when you know some women are very reckless with their motherfucking mouth. Personally,
oh yeah. She can't.
You cannot be serious, be reckless with certain groups of people in front of, and you know what I'm saying. Real talk, really.
Yeah, of course.
And personally, that see now, it was another brother that controlled panel. I said, listen, get control of your fucking bitches on your fucking panel, please.
I said that in a nice way.
Yeah, control. This is not somewhere a man have a conversation and you come up and you go and spill your vitriol, your what do you call misandry, wherever labels want to call these people use nowadays on other people. That's not acceptable. And we're gonna have the conversation, have the dialogue. We don't want you to say, good, baby, baby, go back downstairs. Don't come up here. No, don't start that. But you see, some dudes will allow it, and Psycho Can said best. Is about the bag, the money.
Yeah.
And I say I don't mind people make the money on here, but listen, you're gonna have some respect doing this. You get me? There should not be no echo chambers. There should not be people getting all boasty because they're behind avatars, whatever, to go talk their crap. And one thing, since you mentioned this dude, I'm gonna keep it short because I want to play this video. And if you want to stay up, you can stay up. It's your option. That
Gotcha.
what this dude out here, and I'll be honest with you, I watched George make a stream on this, and I had to agree with the brother that this is something that was set up. Because the way when that thing happened, they cut off the cameras, and this dude turned himself in. This don't sound like something that a person that, and mind you, what he was saying was some weird doing this, but it's done so correctly that it was planned too well. Well, let's say something just happened and things just went black. Mm-hmm. Especially in a high industrial city like New York, where cameras are everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere in God's earth that no one got a camera that could view what's going on. Mark my word, they're gonna start releasing hidden videos of this very soon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm gonna take it. I'm not going further because I want to present the show at hand. So, and I see the chat room. I'll read the chat for a second, but right now I'm gonna run this. And for all, we'll do fair use for this one, people. And this is the part 2 of it, different side of the video. And I like this brother, and he said some things to this lady, and I'll probably do my little breakdown. So let us begin.
People that I admire. Her name is Joy Dugree. I think she's a psychologist. She's a PhD. She wrote a book called Post-Traumatic.
PhD. That's bad news right there.
So what are the...
Now, this chick's stupid. What's bad news when a woman that, or any person that is accomplished, that is writing literature, not dealing with one part of the job, but dealing with Black people as a whole? See, the problem with a lot of people that have channels, they deal with the symptoms and deal with only one side and no one else is at fault. No, when we talk about the issues that plague us, we have to look at ourselves as a whole, because it takes both halves to form a whole, not one-sided thing. And that's what it is. And that's when you hear, just like this lady time I said, it's a problem. Oh, it's a problem for certain people or a certain brand. Wait, I see somebody here, Brendan. Wait, let me see what this is. 1 second, guys. Let me do this. Hello? Who's this?
Damn, bro, you drunk?
Hello? Yeah. This is no one.
Yeah, kick him off, bro.
Yeah.
You off the shit.
Yeah. Let me do this, because since people cannot remove this. All right, we go continue. Tony Mito, you could wait, hold on. Let me see who's this? Okay.
They trolling you, bro.
That's cool. So now let's continue on to the video. Let's see, where's the video? Okay.
She wrote, it's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Mm-hmm. And in that book, she talks about how some of our behaviors as Black people in the present day are simply consequences of some of the behaviors we were forced to have during slavery. So, for instance, she uses the example of Black women now find it hard to compliment their sons or go along when, let's say you're at a PTA meeting and the teacher is saying, oh, your son's so smart, he's doing so good, everybody loves him, this and that. And she was saying that, most Black women would say, oh, him, that's just Corey, And she made the argument in her book that traces all the way back to slavery, because on the plantation, if your son was a standout in any way, it would result in him being sold to another plantation and your family being divided. So that disposition was passed down from great-great-great-great-grandma, and then great-great-great-grandma learned that from her, and great-great-great-great-grandma learned that from her. Same with our food, same with our way of speech, same with our disposition, same with our traumas. The other thing I learned about is called epigenetics.
Now, if y'all not familiar, you familiar with epigenetics, Vango?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot.
See, people gotta understand the stage of control and maintain a set of people that want to push for 1,000 years. You do not just attack them physically. You had to get through the psychology and mess with them genetically by interbreeding all stuff. And doing this process enough, you have damaged a set group of people in the epigenetic side of things. Now, there are ways to correct epigenetics that they don't really talk about if we Google it. My method, if I really want to explore how you correct it, is one, you're going to have to reconstruction your mind and might have to look into rebreeding. Number one. Yeah, fix the head first, then the body next. Because you got to understand, this thing is embedded you genetically that will pass down through bloodline, and you have, depending on who you sleep with and who you procreate, that passes down certain spiritual ties and etc. But with simple correction mentally, then the spiritual, and then the body, you could easily fix the epigenetic side of things. You won't neutralize, but you could fix it slowly. And that's one thing that when most people talk about epigenetics, they think this is a set fixed thing that's permanent. In a way, it can be, but there's ways to correct it. I tell people many times, we deal with not only the problem, but there are ways of solutions how to fix things. Because we are people, we are first people. And we not only build things, but we correct things. You know? Yeah. And in the business of most cultures, especially other people, they always condition us that things cannot be fixed unless they are the ones that's fixing it. So it leaves you out of correcting your problems. And that's false. You correct your problems. You could fix yourself. So let's keep going. How you doing, JT Coins?
Epigenetics is literally genetic memory, the way that your body and your genes store trauma. And these traumas are passed down from mother to daughter, daughter to son, and it's passed all the way down. So when we're having these conversations as Black people, if we're not willing to engage with grace, we're not having an accurate conversation, because there's a lot to unpack and there's a lot of concessions. There's a lot of patience. There's a lot of grace that I must show you as a Black woman in light of what you have been through. And not just you specifically, but your mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother's mother, that informs who you are. And I believe that men deserve that same grace, because I think we both agree that if I had a son tomorrow, he's not a bad person off top. We both agree my daughter is not a bad person off top. Things happen, nature versus nurture, that turn people into who they could potentially be and become, into who they are. So we have to have that conversation with historical context, with psychological context, with social context, with scientific context. Because if we just say we're not willing to add any context, we're not being honest.
Now, before she speak, and you can chime in, Shango, that these conversations, when I hear conversations between the sex, men and women in our groups, I find it more that most of the men are dealing with the historical context. We have like scholars, you know, the ones we talk about, right? But it's more deeper. That they deal with the deeper history that lead to us. And I rarely hear from some ladies in certain social media, certain space on YouTube talk about it. They always deal with the symptoms. And then again, when you deal with they deal with the effects already, but don't deal with the cause. And their psychologist said, screw the cause. I like to still focus on the effects. And I say that's nonsense. Very unintelligent. You sound dumb. You know? And because you don't have understanding of context, it lets you know that you do not really care about anything of correcting it, much less really want to keep pushing a so-called echo chamber just to feel good so you can keep moving in your mediocrity and your degeneracy, you know? And this is why I respect the brother on the left, because And mind you, he's not ADOS from what you see in his monitor, bro. This guy's from Africa. Okay. But one certain foreign national blacks that come here, either they're first generation or they come here from another country. There are some that are not in the best interest of ADOS black people. I don't know if we would agree or disagree with that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So the ones that do come here, they have some respect to know, saying they understand the history and also they got stay in their place, but have respect for those that's been here to know why they act and move the way they do. And the only time someone will start to really come to this community is when they get their so-called Negro wake-up call. Example, the guy that got deleted by or killed by the white chick.
Yep.
Who else? I can't name it other foreign blacks. Oh yeah, both and John. You know what I'm saying? Which I knew, to be honest, we all could admit, we men, that this man was boning that chick that went into his apartment and blow his head out.
Damn.
This is the honest truth, because no woman out of her right state mind gonna say, I thought this is my place. No, you had some intentions to go commit a crime. But because there is so-called in this society that because they're the majority that they have certain protections, that they feel they should not be exempt from bad behavior when it comes to others. And they do reward them, but it took a lot from the system to really sit there convict them. And I might do another stream or a call show, and my assumptions to people that's not from this country. And stay tuned, because I have a theory. And mind you, because this woman is not doing jail time yet, I think that might change. You get me? Well, let's keep going on.
Okay. And again, I've never heard anybody in this space, Kevin Samuels included, have these conversations, especially around Black femininity. And when you're talking about Black women, it's never with context given.
Sure.
It's not. It doesn't have context. It's just.
And I'm critical of that. I'm critical of that. Me for one, I'm critical of that. Absolutely.
Well,
like one of the things that I've been really saddened by recently, if I've had 10 conversations with 10 different women, at least 7 of them have been molested as kids. We don't talk about that, right? And that informs who they become. There was I think it was a scientific journal I was reading, and it pretty much made the assertion that 97% of who you become as an adult is dictated by what happens between the ages of 0 and 7. Now, put that in context with kids who are growing up in abject poverty in the ghettos, going to schools that their teachers could give a shit about them, being raised by parents who are hooked on all kinds of drugs, who are in gangs and in different scenarios. Are we going to say, are we willing in good conscience to say that those boys are just messed up boys, those girls are just messed up girls? Or do they deserve the grace of our understanding what is being done? Because it's not about what was done, it's what is currently being done. Do they deserve that? Do the kids deserve that?
I think the kids, of course, deserve that. And I think that something definitely has to be done to help kids that are still kids, that are still growing up. They still have a lot of growing up to do, to put them in a better position, to a better position than we had growing up and coming up. However, nothing in this space, Kevin Samuels included, is going to help that to happen. This is only going to push. That's only going to kill any chance. Kevin Samuels is not.
They pause.
They go to Cap.
But they got unsaid. Nothing really is going to push and unify Black people forward. That's a decision Black people had to make for themselves. No content creator or any person that's an influence, no matter big channels or medium channels, is going to change the mindset of hearts of millions of Black folks in America, especially, or outside America. But we're going to speak for America. That's almost 50 million or wherever they say we are. So when they time I said it's only pushing the divide was always here amongst us as people.
Yep.
How we know that? Look how black people move once they decide to integrate all of us in this society.
Yep.
That will tell you your answer. That we never really was all there.
Facts.
And not only that, you think about it, one thing is evident, majority of black folks think and feel that they're white people, mentally and physically. So when you divide us, what's the end result you thinking? Now I say we are all one, so I am like you. But really, default, you're not.
Asian people who racist toward black people.
Yeah. Yeah. What's good, Shatter? If you dare Shatter, I'll put the link for you to come into. Actually, I'll put it for you on this another site. This, let me keep running this.
Not here to help black men. And I reject the idea entirely and completely that he is here to help the black community. No, you are not.
Respectfully, I think we're having two different conversations, because I don't care as much about the Kevin Samuels of the world and the Tommy Sotomayors. I think we are incentivizing how entertaining those things are. I'm talking about real world practical. I care about black men, black women, black boys, black girls.
Yes,
what do you think we need to do to make sure they don't turn into these men that you complain about?
I'm telling you right now that if you because the thing about it is that, like, we can't have this conversation on YouTube and act like these conversations that you say Kevin Samuel started, these conversations that are extremely public, extremely popular, are not going to have some sort of impact and effect on what's going to come next. Okay, we can have a totally separate conversation that is not going to change what this space is doing. And
so I'm trying to transform this space. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm asking you to help me do that in a more effective way.
If you really want, and this man, as you could tell, Van Gogh, he cares what black men think and do because he's a black man advocating. But if the really conversations to really change any form of space, you have to get rid of the ones that are come here to divide and cause more chaos, especially ones that have issues, real issues of just dealing with a chick, or what they tell me, dealing with a bitch. You can't be, as a man or some so-called avatar, for the sake of conversation, right, have concern that a man still wants to have conversation with a woman and tell us why she's here, or go as far as, you should be always like on attack. That's mental illness, bro.
Yeah, it is. I experienced it today.
You experienced today. Yeah. Let me bring up. All right, Shatter. What's good, Shatter? Sorry.
Yo, what's going on, y'all, man? You can hear me good?
I hear you good. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Salute, man.
Breakdown. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, man, salute, man, to you and Shango, man. I ain't heard everything on here, man. I just heard that one little part where she said that she don't think black men is trying to help the community. What did she say?
I mean, she's opposing that what men are doing on social media, YouTube, or like the bigger conquests or medium conquests are not helping unify, that cause more divide. But I said earlier that the divide was always here amongst black folks. You get me?
Yeah.
I think it's making, if she made that argument, I think that you could make the counter argument that it is bringing people together too at the same time, because imagine, 10 years ago, did the space even exist like it do now?
No.
Good point.
Yeah. I agree. But one thing I will say, that one thing with certain bigger content, like what she said, that man, the Godfather, that he did create the conversation. You get me? And he's
That's
on
what she picked up on
mine.
the conversation. He didn't
Yeah.
he didn't start the conversation. It was been being had, but I mean, to say that he didn't take it forward and put a more broader audience on it would be disingenuous. So now they actually listening now. Now they, they listening to it now because you know what I'm saying. It ain't got popular. Now people talking about it now, and there's no shortage of women that come up there on that show to embarrass themselves daily. I mean, Maury Povich just went out of business. Somebody got to take over for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Of course. You're right about that. Let's keep going. All right.
So instead of us talking about the people who aren't doing it in a way that you feel like is effective, what can men like me who actually care about Black women doing better, Black men doing better, Black people doing better, what can we do better to make you happy and make the divestors proud of us again? What can we do?
Well, I've already told you this.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
divested Black women have spent their time, and they do not see a resolution. Their only resolution is to go where they know they're going to be appreciated and respected, and this. I just think that this idea is ridiculous. That let me give you a quick example, because
Sure.
a lot of Black men had a problem with these the Supreme Court justice nominations, not candidates being married to white men.
So.
And there was a day, and there was like 5 or 6 of them candidates, Black women. Had this day had come like 10, 15 years ago, all of those women would have been single, all of them. And it's just not a coincidence that they were all married to white men. They could have been married to Asian men or whatever, but I mean, it's just not a coincidence that they are all married to white men. When you are opening up your options to
you gotta pause that right there, Chaos.
Yeah.
Now, did y'all just hear what I just heard her just make this false equivalency?
Yep.
Like it's actually the opposite of what she's saying. If she wasn't just who she's just saying, like I would think she's being paid to be so stupid. How is it that this justice, and I think if you go back on her, the guy that she's married to, I think his father was a Supreme Court justice as well. And I think he was an old guard type of dude, Shango, He was like, when the Dixiecrats was running shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she linked in with the Coon Squad.
Man, bruh, on the other end of it though, right? On the left side of it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she didn't been given the wand of power now. So, but yeah, the fact the Vesta chick is trying to, I see what she's trying to do. She's saying, look at all the Black women who in power. It's not a coincidence that they got white men. That's what she's trying to make the equivalency to. But I'm like, if you are blackity black every time you get on top of TV and you married to a white man, like that shit is stupid as hell. If a Black man was married, if Obama was married to Ivanka Trump, Ivanka Obama, he would have never gotten a white. The Black women would have destroyed him if he had a white woman.
Yep. For real.
Yeah, you're right. But let's be honest. In this country, because this is a white dominant country, obviously when we talk about interracialism, Shatter, it's usually black and white. And with the sisters, normally it's gonna be the so-called dominant, or the men's that mostly the majority in this country, which is Caucasian white men by default. So I mean, not saying they don't entertain other groups of men, but mostly it's gonna be that's whitest. That's a white man.
I've seen that. You heard what she said. You're right. You're absolutely correct. And as we psychologically look at the mindset of this person talking, I heard that as well, because she first said, if you go back and you remember, listen, she said, we gonna divest with white men, and then she said Asian men, and I think some other man later. That was her third and second choice. The first choice that she said out her mouth was white men. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why, because let's be honest, they view the white man as, the God, all power savior. So it makes sense. But let's keep running.
Damn. Hey, yeah, you see female on the chat say she got a toy. She's not giving black men none till they know how to act right. I'm not sleeping with no white man either. They are no better.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, she just said that. But I would say if that toy ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just playing with that toy. Then stop. You need to stop the cap right now.
Yep. Enjoy them cats in that wine cooler. You feel me?
All right, let's continue playing the tape.
Playing with a toy, but that picture, you up in that picture looking like you ready to get plucked.
All right, we can continue.
Races of men that don't see the money that you make as a form of competition, because they're where they're supposed to be. They're where they have to be. Mm-hmm. The union is more evenly yoked. Sure. Because you're not the one that has to be the head of the household. You're not in charge. You're not the one in charge of everything. You have a head that can lead you. So it's a more evenly yoked, and it's a proper relationship dynamic, and that is all Black women want.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your point.
I just don't think Black men understand that, y'all. I just feel like Black men who are not, like I said, you're not there. You the collective success of Black men is just not a lot. Okay. So I just find it very hard to believe that all of these Black men are just so unable to get along with women that make a whole lot of money, because I'm just like, you don't have access to
how do you measure the collective success of Black men? Are we talking income or like education?
I mean, because like I said, we're not even talking about a dollar value. We're not talking about the six-figure value or whatever. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the collective state, because it is, the Black people in this country are a very small minority.
No, I'm asking what metric are you using to say Black women are doing so much better than Black men?
You use the metric of, I guess, education, businesses, and career.
Do we put those things in context? Because statistically, Black men do still out-earn Black women. Statistically, even though Black women lead in education, that is absolutely true. They also lead in student loan debt. So do we include those metrics in these conversations?
And you know what, I like that that is the case, that Black men still out-earn Black women, because it only goes to prove that Black men have the male advantage. When you actually put yourself to it, you still out-earn women, because it's still a man.
I gotta make sure. Is my thing slowing down, or is it me? Make sure we play again.
World at the end of the day. So when Black men are working, they can earn. They can be the provider. They can, if they put in the work to do so. But the student loan debt, like I have student loan debt, but guess what? My student loan debt and the life that I lived before student loans was much harder than the life that I live now with student loans. I was you don't qualify for the kind of jobs that you can get once you have that degree. I qualify for more. I live better month to month. I have a nice fat salary I can rely on. You know, when you don't have that, and it's you know, it's still needed. You still need that in order to kind of, if you're not a business owner and you rely on, you know, corporate jobs and salary and all of that, you want to qualify for the jobs that pay, that come with perks and benefits.
All right, let me stop. I'm not sure if my finger is slowing down, but to pause for a second. Yeah, she has student loan debt, like majority of Americans. As you know, when I did the breakdown on student loan debt, and I think I have a broadcast on my channel on that with Paco, Dr. Black. We read down the data on it, and we know that on the average, women are going to accumulate more debt than men because majority of women are not going to do jobs that are dangerous or more rigorous. They're going to go to universities to do jobs or get degrees. Some are worthless and some might have value depending on what degree they get because it's much more easier and it's less strenuous to their bodies.
Yeah, but they gonna still, if they smart enough with the way it's set up now and job office politics, what corporate America has created now with the help of government, they can do a more or less strenuous job that really probably one person could knock that out. You'll have 3 of those middle managers now delegating to men who are actually doing the job and won't give the men the manager job. They'll already put the woman over. And they usually choose an older woman to do it, or they choose a BLT sandwich person to do it. I've seen it happen a million times. You see, and then they delegate to the men what work to be done, and they do no work, and they get paid more than you. You know, so I've seen that as well. But for her to sit there and be disingenuous to the point where the divestment comes in, you know, and to the girl in the chat talking about, you know, the best alternative, she's being a femcel out here. You know, and nobody's seeing this shit here. We have actually fem. Funny, her name is Femi, but it should be femcel because she's saying that she says the best way, the alternative is now toys. Are you hearing this?
Well, I'm gonna say it's because I've known Femi off social media, so I don't really go hard on Femi because I know her. So you know, she is gonna be playing nice in the chat room. But I'll say since Femi, if Femi's in here, you know, I kind of respect that, and here's why, Femi. At least you know you're gonna wait for some dude, and instead of, you know, be out here, depending if you're know what you're gonna get out here. And say, you know, go and mess around with other groups, man, if you choose to, because you know we're America, you can choose what you want. But after time, you know what I'm saying, we gotta put ourselves back out here. You get me? It's good you do it now, but don't depend on it for long term. That's my thing about it. That's all. You about to say something, Vango?
No, I'm gonna say, yeah, I pretty much, because especially what happened tonight, bro, it's really opened my eyes. No cap. Women can do whatever they want, bro. My thing is, just don't expect a good outcome from doing stuff that you know ain't right. You feel me? So if she wants to do that, then that's on her. But I would definitely invest in a retirement plan and an old folks home. And I'm not even joking. I'm just dead ass serious, because if you're not gonna have no kids because you don't have a husband or whatever, you gotta have somebody to take care of you. So, you know, my bad if my mic is too loud.
Femi, you didn't know what Femi said? You gotta look up that. That's the what they call the opposite of what they call now with these men called incels, and it's not really much promoted because when people talk about, say people are, what's the word? Y'all gotta say something. When people say they're weighing the options, men say if they don't not getting anything out here, I don't know, something with the incel thing that these are these set of men, which okay, but like I said, life is about people, and we should still strive to socialize as people. You see, the problem with society, what is doing now and gearing people are, is making people more drone-like behavior. They're making it more less active amongst people because they're desensitizing people. And one of the best tools that they have developed that's been in creation that has affected a lot of people around the world, not just America, around the world, is the creation of what they call social media. You get me? Is media that you don't have to see somebody face to face. Is what we like to call a form of what's the word I want to call it? Anti-social behavior, or the beginning stages of it.
It's definitely that, man, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the anti-social behavior, and I think that has a part to do with the incel culture, because notice that these words, see the vocabulary that they have now. See, these words didn't exist when I was coming up, and I'm sure with you
Neither I. Neither I. It never existed. It started existing now in the last decade.
They didn't call people divestors when they went and got with a white man. They just called a bitch that got a white man.
Yeah.
You know, they might call her some other names too, but you know, black women been getting with white men, but black women haven't been marrying white men like that, because they usually is a perpetual side piece. The man probably married already. I done seen it happen a million times. And I don't see the investment, because if I was, you know what I'm saying, a person that was trying to be better for my people, if I go and I get with a person who, you know what I'm saying, okay, the wife who you're saying that you married into their family, or maybe you're doing a family type deal, like you were saying about the you know, the girl, like how does she get the judge, right? You know, his son. So you got a Supreme Court son, you know what I'm saying, as your husband, and you just so miraculously get into the Supreme Court. And then you miraculously, over the time of you being a woman, I don't know if she has no kids or not, but over the time of you being all them years as a woman, presiding over cases between men and women as a judge, you do not know what a woman is on camera? Come on, man. Somebody paying her off to do this shit.
I mean, what I'm hearing that she knows what it is, but because she don't want to offend the alternate community, because remember, if you're a Supreme Court judge, that means you probably were Sigma Alpha, you know, you're in certain groups. So you had to rebut certain labels and terminologies. But let's be honest, you're only gonna find this when they do this with black folks. If they ask their own people this question, they will be honest. You get me? But you see, they're always testing Negroes to see how insane we are, how backwards we are. Once they ask us questions, we give them these answers that we know doesn't make no sense. Let's continue. Hold on, guys.
The reason I bring that up is, like, even with black men that are doing relatively well, because my network is comprised of men similar to me, right? There is still a condescension that our women have when they talk to and about us. And my question was trying to get to the point that that condescension isn't well founded. Because
what do you mean? Condescension.
But because the condescension is, we are doing so much better than you, and the numbers don't say that. So that's why I wanted to understand what variables are we using.
What numbers don't say that? Like when you say that, what numbers don't say that?
Well, number one, I'm talking salary. You're not out earning black men. Number two, I'm talking education. A lot of women in general are getting educated in humanities and in fields that don't actually earn that much. So education for the sake of education, I think that's a separate conversation. But my whole point is, this look down on that we're having isn't backed up by any credible data.
But again,
oh, boom. Now, mind you, and I will do showing this because Dr. Hassan did some digging about this, about black women are rising in ownership and making entrepreneurship. I asked this question many times, and you know where I'm going with this, Shatter and Van Gogh. I asked him, what business are you producing, ladies, that society needs, is a necessity? And I know few people ask these same women that keep throwing at brothers. And one woman, you know, one major content creator, she couldn't give you detail what business Blackwoman started up. So why are you pushing those and you're not investigating this?
You could definitely see that. You know, like I see a lot of retail stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we know what businesses work well in our community. You know what I'm saying? You know, the barbershop gonna do well, the nail salon gonna do well, the hair salon gonna do well.
You got to repeat that, Shatter. Your mic's breaking up.
Yeah, you jumped out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
a little better. Go ahead.
You know, in our neighborhoods, we know what businesses is going to bang, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the nail shop, the barber shop, you know, the hair salon, right? The beauty supply.
Yeah.
These are things that are going to absolutely make money over time, you know, in the neighborhood. And I see a lot of that, you know, women having successful, you know, salons and stuff like that. I see a lot of that. But like as far as on the STEM, the representation is low on the trades. The representation is low. You know, in the oil industry, they got a couple in there, but even then, still, it's mostly a man game. You know what I'm saying? It's just that nobody wants to go out there on that rig. You know, some people don't want to get on a helicopter or get on a ladder and go up and mess with thousands and thousands of volts of electricity. It takes men make that. Men do that.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go spin around and get me another certification. You feel me? And go ahead and do that thing because, like you said, there's a prime market for dudes who are physically capable to be able to do stuff. You feel me? So,
Okay.
They ain't really hitting on it like they think they is. You feel me? The women folk.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
Like when you say you're not out earning black men, this is the point. Okay, when a black man is earning, he is earning well. The problem is the number of black men that are earning at that level is small. Like for the collective of black men, there's few black men at that level. If more black men was to, you know, be in that field or get that job or have that career, yes, there more black men would be high earners. But
and that's what I need clarity on, because the stats are saying that on average. So if we got two broke people, the broke guy makes more money than the broke girl. If we have two high earning people, the high earning guy makes more than the high earning girl. So like, who are we comparing?
I mean, we're comparing black men and black women, even though that's backwards in itself, because black men should be competing with other men, not with women. But black men always want to do these comparisons. And so what I'm saying is when black men have jobs, like when they are working, when they are earning, you still have access to that male advantage. You can earn. But black men are highly unemployed right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. So number one, when we go back to the statistics, there are more black women than black men. There are more black women than black men who don't have felonies or are incarcerated in the whole nine. So the number of women who can earn money outnumber the number of men who can earn money. Even though that's the case, even though y'all have more numbers, on average, we're still out earning you. So like, why is that the case?
Because you have the male advantage to do so. It's not, you're looking at the like salary versus salary. What this should be is, you know, do you know how many black men are in the country?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, let's just say, for example, it's 10 million. Okay, let's say there's 10.
Well, if you want to know from the so-called, if there's 47 or 44 million black people in America, or we could say extra 45 million, out of that, we don't want to have an additional 1 million or 2 million black women. So if we said we're going to split for 20s, we could say roughly there's like, let's say 22 million black men in America. And the 24, whatever, could be women, right? I'm just going to throw numbers like this, just numbers. So we only that small population, right? and you're going to be always more than us because women are in. I like to say this: in the earth, there's always going to be more women than men. Period. That's how nature runs. They can't have a surplus of men and less women because we all know what men bring and what they do. They will fight and kill for another woman if needed. It was just more of them and less of them. We can use examples of this now that's going outside this country, i.e., China, and we could probably throw India in the mix because I heard India has more men than women, surprisingly, and they have pure sex over there. Oh, and I see there's a little bit more people watching. Please like the video. I got 6 likes right now, and I think I have almost 10 people watching. So please like the video. I appreciate it. So knowing this, that we all know we're in a very trouble and dangerous territory once you're in any region of a country where there's more men than women. We know what men are capable of do in the sense of procreation and getting the opposite sex. So when there's more women, less men, it kind of evens the playing field by law, by default, by nature. But that's what I just want to say. Let's keep going.
10 million black men in the country. If 2 million of those men have great jobs and they're all earning high, those 2 million men are still going to out earn the 7 million women that also have the job. You're still going to be higher earners, but that still leaves 8 million other unemployed men.
Sure.
So
Well,
it's not. I'm not comparing salary for salary. I'm comparing the number of the ratio of men that are not working.
And I think that would make sense. However, even men who are uneducated are earning on par with, or if not more in some cases, than women who are educated. But this education is still being held over their head as if it makes them better.
No, black men right now, listen, black men that are not working, because this is the reality and this is the facts. Black men that are not working, there is an unemployment crisis with black men right now, okay?
Sure.
So if those unemployed men become employed, they will be competitive. They will be able to compete. All right. It's not about versus women.
But I think it further makes my point because you're saying that there are a bunch of unemployed black men. So if we were that unemployed, it should pull the numbers down of how much we're earning on average.
No.
But we're still earning more.
Because it doesn't matter. Like I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay, explain it to me.
Let's say, like, for the sake of argument, you earn more than me. All right.
Sure.
All right. Great. You are a higher earner than I am because you're a man and I'm a woman. All right. But if there is few black men like that, if it's few black men like you to choose from, how does that help the collective of black men that are unemployed? It's not like black men are not, they're not starting businesses. They don't have all of these LLCs and businesses going on. They don't. They're also homeless. There's a lot of homeless black men.
Sure. There's a lot of homeless men. So, and I think that's the part you're missing. You're assuming that because black men also suffer some of the pitfalls of manhood, such as homelessness and incarceration, we also enjoy the advantages of manhood. So what advantages of manhood or being a man do black men enjoy in this country?
Black men.
Now, take a guess. You think she'll gaslight or keep it real honest? Answer
the first one. Gaslight.
Okay, let's see what her answer is.
Would enjoy the same advantage of...
No, I say currently, because you said they earn more because they're men. So, like, what advantages of manhood do we enjoy currently?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, men, like just men in general, on average, earn higher than women. You know, you're taken more seriously for certain positions. It's called a male advantage. Black men have it. Okay, just because you're men, you would get that benefit.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And I'm saying this as somebody who works in corporate America and has friends in HR. HR, by the way, is predominantly run by Black women. So what tends to happen is Black women tend to be more employable because of some of the things like mass incarceration. So it goes back to the historical piece. So there are more women earning money.
Yes.
Because originally your point was that Black men aren't doing that well. So I'm saying even though there are more women earning money,
Yes.
we are still making more. But you're saying it's because of the male advantage,
It-
without recognizing that the Black male disadvantage makes us less employable.
But that's not because this because I'm sorry, but this Black male disadvantage of incarceration is something that Black men could control if they wanted to. Okay, I don't think that systemic racism is completely.
Now, the incarceration, that depends. Depending on what state you're in, and the high, what's it called? Harassment rate when it comes to Black folks and law enforcement. We all know what they did in New York, stop and frisk, some other things. Or they're always looking to see who could possibly be the person, the perpetrator of a crime, particularly when it's something that's small and they're not looking for, say, of a certain, look for everybody. They look for a certain set of group of people, you know? I mean, some of the policies they put in is really focused on Black folks, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying that Black people should walk into the traps, but at the end of the day, you have to do the best you can in an environment that really makes a conscious effort to mark you as enemy number one. So keep that in mind. All right.
100% responsible for how much Black men go to prison.
So what percentage would you give it?
I really don't know. I think that if
Would you say 50 or less or more than 50?
Definitely more than 50 because.
So you think it plays a part?
Who? Oh, wait, which one?
Mass incarceration plays a part with why Black men are certain ways and are doing the ways that they're doing. You said it plays more than 50%.
It's not just mass incarceration. It's, let's say a Black man got arrested for something that he didn't do, which does happen. Okay. He ends up in prison and he didn't commit the crime, like the Central Park 5. They didn't do that. All right. Fine. There's all kinds of organizations and people that go to open up these cases and see if there was any sort of thing that was done wrong. Most of the time, the high majority percentage of the time, the Black man did something. Okay, there's Black men, especially in these poverty areas. High poverty equals high crime.
Sure.
Okay, so it's like I can't just blame systemic racism when you did an armed robbery. You committed armed robbery, okay, and you're going to prison for a long time.
No, but the question I'm getting at is you're saying Black men enjoy the same male advantage.
Hello, Rainy Woman. How you doing? It's been a long time since I see you on the chat room. Hope everything is well with you. Let me just write that. All right. Let's continue.
Advantage is white men, for instance, right? So what disadvantage do they have comparing them to white men? Because you're right. Let's compare men to men. What disadvantage do Black men have compared to their white counterparts?
What disadvantage do Black men have? Black men have the disadvantage of being Black. It's a minority, and you also have the disadvantage of your of just people assuming things about you the same way they assume things about me. And so we both go into corporate with plenty of disadvantages. Trust me. Okay. I work in corporate too. I work in finance.
Sure.
We both face extreme disadvantages in the corporate world. And a lot of Black women start businesses because they want to they want to get out of corporate because it's really not that friendly. It's something that you have to adapt to. You kind of have to learn all of those ropes and all of that. So it's not the most friendly place to be. Right. But this like salary for salary is like that is not the point. Black men make more money when they are working. That's the point. When
But
they're working.
but they make more money regardless,
Yeah,
according
yes,
to the
great,
stats.
great. So more black
Yeah.
men should work then. That's
No, I listen. I agree 100%. As somebody who's employed, I agree a thousand
okay.
percent.
Then like I
The point I was trying to get at was this talk down that often, and not just with the
it's not
divesting
talking
community.
down.
No, no,
It's
no, no. I'm not just talking about the divesting community. I'm talking about in general. There is a sense of there's a condescension, right? And I think, for me, I always put things in historical context, so I know where it comes from. It comes from a lot of our boys were raised by a lot of our girls were raised by single mothers. The authority figure for a lot of our people have been women. And because that authority figure were women, the girls grow up thinking that a woman is an authority figure. So who are you, little boy? Especially given all these things that you're talking about. The boys, unfortunately, a lot of our boys, they grow up wanting women like their moms, and they feel like they need to sit at home, play 2K while she goes and wins bread, right? And that's something I talk against. With that being said, how can we honestly have this conversation and claim that black men are enjoying all the perks of masculinity and madness in this particular country without pointing out some of the pitfalls of manliness and specifically black manness that black men have to suffer? Because it's like when it's time to give out empathy, we should take it evenly. When it's time to give out blame, we should take all the blame. Black men should take all the blame. And it's like that doesn't make sense.
I don't
Well, it would make sense in a bizarre world we live in, my African brother.
Yeah, I looked at just the stats here from what I'm seeing on census.gov data from
Mhm.
2010 to 2017, I believe is reporting, and it says 44 million black Americans, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So it said that here we got 44 million. It says there's 80, basically 80 black men for every 100 black women in the study. So it was like a rough 20% more of women than men. That's
Mhm.
what the census data was saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, with the B Dubs, bro. I mean, at this point, what this brother's saying is gonna fall on a lot of deaf ears because they don't want to hear anything we gotta say. They don't even want to have a conversation. Because you see how she be, kind of gaslighting him and whatnot and doing that. It's like, okay, at what point do I be like, yo, why am I talking to her? You feel me? You know, I get we need to defend our positions and defend the image of black men, but sometimes, like, you know what it's like? It's going into SBE territory, as Ty City says. You feel me? Like,
Hey, no, hey, you right. Like you were saying, you seen some shit today, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Look in the
told
back
the
chat,
chick,
Shadow Star. You got to see this, bro.
hey, I told one of the chicks I was talking to today about some of just like the random stuff that I get as being a brother, and she's like, I just went to that place and I left out of there in 15 minutes and all problems were solved. And why can't you do that same thing? I'm like, I'm a man, a black man, and she's looking at me like with the most puzzled face. And she's like,
Hmm.
no. And so I'm like, yeah, they wanted me to have this certification, this identification times 10 million with verifications and signed letters and all this. And she's like, she was so perplexed, Shango. She couldn't understand what I was saying. She was like, y'all go through that? I'm like, yes. What the fuck do you mean?
Exactly. They don't listen when we talk. They just tune us out. You feel me?
Mm.
Yeah, I see that in the chat. I see it.
But yeah, a salute to all y'all, man. I gotta actually bounce. I gotta go to the crib, go to sleep, get up. But
Yeah,
salute
man.
chaos.
Get your rest, man. Thank you for coming Vanga. But listen, future's sake, anytime you find a female, a disagreeable chick, gonna try you like that. I mean, my advice, either do two things. You cuss them out and let them kick you off, or you just excuse yourself, especially if she's doing it out of bad faith. Because let's be honest, I don't mind you young brothers be in these spaces and certain panels and stuff, but a lot of these panels, by default, today, as I look at it, they're not very productive now. You get me? I mean, we look at the craziness of a lot of these cats that's coming on here. And it's like we give them the echo chamber, and eventually they feel they could do platforms and stuff. And I'm saying not everybody needs to speak, just like the minister said earlier, which I do agree. I've been doing this podcasting now for roughly 6.5 years. Well, it's actually 3 or 4, and I do YouTube 3 years. But I've been doing now for a few years now. And I tell people many times, this is work. I just don't come up here, fire up a live stream just to hear myself rant. Too many people do that. You can go to Clubhouse, do that bullshit. You get me?
That's like that Clubhouse type action. Yeah.
And trust me, Clubhouse is getting just as worse than YouTube. If anybody on Clubhouse, and I'm saying this personally, because I have some people that I do like on Clubhouse, but majority of those people over there, it's like when I look at the titles rooms they create, I'm saying, Jesus Christ. If you don't talk about this community or so-called relationships, it seems to me y'all more focused on getting some ass and pussy than anybody else. You tell me, say, one dude create channel said on room saying, why you can't take my 40 grand? And yeah, I said, brother, do you want to make a title like that?
Grand. What
listen,
the hell?
I mean, brother, listen.
Wow.
To start, even one chick said that I forgot what it was. Thomas said, I think she created one that said Black women should divest. That's one. I forgot what the title was. One unique title, and it just don't make no fucking sense. Like people come out here to just hear himself talking. I say, y'all can't take y'all talents. No, I'm glad y'all on this little app. You can't come to YouTube with this bullshit.
Bullshit. I mean, like, who's going to listen to that? Who's going to listen to that?
Listen to me good. This is as far most niggas will get is on an app where no one doesn't see who they are, besides a little bullshit avatar. Now, mind you, in YouTube we have avatars. By the time certain people come here and notice that they try to put in something just to get monetized and make something. Over there, you don't get no monetization. You gotta beg people just to pay you in your little cash apps. And God forbids that you don't exceed a certain number where they got to freeze your fucking account. You understand? If you're gonna make money on here, you better do it correct. You can't just say that I'm providing a service and stuff. No one doesn't know you outside Clubhouse. You don't got no products. You got no sell. Hell, you don't got a channel that's growing a certain audience. See, one thing I respect on YouTube, you have to put in some motherfucking work to grow a channel.
Yep.
Outside here,
and then not only that though, Chaos. Once you get that person to listen to your video, hopefully subscribe, engage, like, get in the chat, engage with people, and respond back to the topic, and being like on the lives and stuff like that. You gotta work to have those people to come back to view your video later. You know what I'm saying?
And that's thank you. That's the point. You have to work hard to maintain this. On Clubhouse, from what I'm seeing, it don't take much work to maintain. So all you do is be trendy, say something that gets people on their skin, and you might get a following fast. And one thing with Clubhouse, like any most social media outlets, I'm telling you, person, the algorithm, they have no specific algorithm yet that will sit there and say, if people not watching shit, or really focus on your shit, that they can sit there, flush out your channel. Now, mind you, there are stipulations how far you get on Clubhouse. If you mess around with certain groups of people, they could peg and clip your account. And if you do bad, you might have to use another phone number. You get me? That's the only disadvantage of using that app. Because you can't insult anybody or say anything stupid. Because they're recording and they're going to start sniping accounts with certain things you should not be saying. On here, they're a little bit more liberal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll still fuck you up. But not in Clubhouse. No one doesn't know you. You're behind an app. You could talk reckless, and people could say something automatic, you can get your shit sniped for a little bit.
I've seen some of those conversations go viral where they'll be just like these people what we talking about, where there'll be somebody on there and maybe they don't even want to say nothing behind the avatar inside of the thing either, but they'll sit there and record it, right? Or put it on YouTube, and then you can listen to some of the debauchery. Yep. That's the only way that I can say it.
It's crazy. The debauchery is so wicked. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're right.
The debauchery is real. And I'm not saying people should really mess with Clubhouse, but I'm telling you right now, since they open to the public, it's become a nigga. It becomes like some circus, weird circus down there. And let's say, why you think these celebrities build the app up partially and then say we go open to the public? Since they opened to the public, only people went on there to throw their nonsense, their weirdness, their degeneracy, even else some that have not even accomplished it. If you want to keep real, and I'm just keeping it over there. You get me?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
where's their Clubhouse viral star? Like, who's the face of Clubhouse? You know what I mean? Like, who's their viral star that's over there that's like making waves? Like, who? I know it's got to be at least.
Oh, that's a good question. That's an excellent question. I don't know, because not people are. Let me tell you why I don't know. Because Clubhouse is not monetized. It's not on the stock market. It's not like YouTube yet.
Gotcha.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. I got to bounce, but salute to y'all.
All right, take care, man. Thank you, Shango.
Keep doing what you're doing, Chaos. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Help the brother out. Same with Shattered Star. Peace.
Peace, brother. And find him on Facebook. Find him on YouTube as well. Vango too. Let me open Bro Speaks. What's good, brother?
Hey, Chaos. What's going on?
I'm good. Yeah, so I'm not gonna keep ranting about Clubhouse. Like I said, if y'all got somebody that invites you to Clubhouse, follow on your discretion. Let you know, say that in rooms that's gonna be about nonsense. People gonna be cussing each other out, and trust me, they do the same doxing over there, like they do over in this motherfucker YouTube up here. So I don't think you're gonna escape that shit. They doing the same shit over there, and it tells you something wrong with Negroes, unfortunately. So let's continue.
I don't think black men enjoy all of the perks of masculinity that white men have. Okay. I don't think you have everything. There's the same way, as I said, comparing black women to white women is I don't know why black men do that. I don't know why y'all think we're the same. We're not the same. We never will be. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't like white women. I ain't gonna say that. I don't like white women, but keep going. I'm sorry.
But so I don't think that you are the same as a white man. If you were in, you in the room, a white man in the room are, you're going to be looked at exactly the same. No, I know you're going to be looked at differently. All right. However, if you are saying, you yourself are saying that when you're working, you're earning higher, does that not prove that you are, when you are in that environment, you're given fair salaries? You're given good salaries? Then why do you earn higher than women then?
Well, I earn higher because of what I do. If a woman was doing the same thing that I was doing, she would probably earn the same as me. If she had more experience,
earn a little less than you.
No, well, so and that goes into the income debate, right? Which is universal.
Exactly. Yes.
But part of the income debate, and part of the advice I give people is that when they really get down into the science, because I read a bunch of stuff about it, part of the reason that men get paid more is that men tend to negotiate where women don't. And this is across the board. This isn't just black women don't negotiate. Women tend to not negotiate because women are more agreeable. And that's part of the reason why men earn more. The other reason is men pick careers that women tend to not be interested in. And those are high paying careers. And that's why men earn more. So if a woman had the same job as me, had the same education as me, negotiated the same as me, she would get paid the same. There's no evidence to suggest otherwise. But what I did want to get at is, do you think, and you can name any kind of scenario you want, do you think there is an advantage in a country like America that a black woman can enjoy that a black man doesn't?
I mean, we're different.
No, I understand that. I'm talking more so like from a societal standpoint. So going back to because the whole penthouse scenario I gave you, that was a metaphor. So that building could be corporate America. That building could be certain events, certain opportunities. You would be allowed access before me because I'm seen as a threat. Do you think that's consistent in the reasons why black men tend to be homeless, black men tend to be unemployed?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, because I would say that the same way I think that black men have the male advantage as to when they are working, they still earn higher than women. Okay. But black women also just have the advantage of being a woman, so that maybe someone might underestimate me or assume that I'm not threatening because I'm a woman. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the racial aspect. Somebody could assume that I'm not threatening, and I'm also like less intelligent, or that I'm also, I must have gotten here because of what's it called, affirmative action or something like that. I didn't earn my way here. So you have it. If it's not one thing, it's the other, and that's just how it is, and I kind of just go with it.
So similar to my building analogy, do you think you would get a job before me, for instance? Because you check 2 boxes.
Check 2 boxes how?
This whole inclusivity thing that companies are doing now. If they're able to check off black and women, they're all for it. I talk to HR people. So if two people are just as credentialed, black men and black women, who do you think would get hired first?
I mean, in finance,
because in white America that's not the case. In white America, the man would get hired first.
Exactly.
But in black America, the woman would get hired first. So what male advantage are we enjoying?
But that doesn't make any sense, because in black America, are black men hiring black men?
You brothers could speak on this because she's not.
That was a good point. That was a good point, right? You paused it right on time, bro. I was finna get ready and say, if I was him, I would have asked her. I would have said, "Hold that thought. Are black women hiring black men?"
Oh, we're not going there. We don't want to go there.
Yeah, and to add to the fact, like you're saying, white women will hire their own men, whereas by and large, black women won't hire black men.
The white women will hire the white men who they know is an alpha in whatever they do. They're not gonna go and find those subservient simps to be up on. They want the baddest white man. That if it ain't a lawyer, she gonna want the baddest shark lawyer that she can get. White man, if it's a doctor, she gonna go get a Jew white man or a badass white man lawyer with all these different Cambridge degrees and whatever the medical school is the best. She's gonna for black women hire black men. Let's just ask what black women of Fortune 500 companies have as the chairwoman or the sole proprietor or with the chair with the board have hired black men, young, virile black men who say what they mean and mean what they say, and will get up there with the company with the gall of an Elon Musk that'll go after anyone and costing the company money half the time, and then tomorrow this nigga then came out with some. What black woman would hire that black Elon Musk if she's the co-central part of her business where she is the highest of the high? You think she'd take a chance on a nigga? I mean, that's just. I mean, if they do, just tell me which Fortune 500 or even Fortune 1000 has that interact as a black man as the CEO, as the black man as the CTO or the CFO directly underneath black women.
Good question. It's a very good question.
Not really. I mean, I don't see that happening. It's either going to be someone that they is they desire, or someone that's going to be someone they can control. It's one of the two.
Right.
You know, it's never going to be someone that is going to be equal, if not someone who can be a leader of that company. So I've had
and that happens at middle management too, because usually the edicts at middle management, and that depends on what corporation you're running with. HR could be middle management, but when you get higher in the tech world, you have this funny thing where your boss has a boss that has a boss that's unrelated to the real middle management and the real higher ups and the real vice president, and then you fall somewhere underneath them, right? And so the middle management, what they do is they find the most efficiency in the workload. So in IT, you can have almost 5 to 6 managers, and usually they do not look like you, black man, right?
Yep, correct.
And if there is a person that looks like you, they're the female counterpart to you that is usually when the corporation drops the hammer on people. And I will say this and I'll say it again because this is just too many points of data that I have occurred, not just from my personal experience, but from me being a team lead and a trainer, seeing how they would fire the brothers who had potential. They might not have been the smartest brothers on no computers, but they had potential. But they would hire 10 black women to fill up their quota of inclusivity and pay them as much or more to do the same job with way less efficiency. I got to sit there and coach them all night and train them. I'm getting overtime hours for coaching and training them on hour-long calls when you're supposed to be on there for 15 minutes. So they would go there. But you think that you as a black man going 45 minutes on calls, you know, you don't know what you're doing. Nobody is trying to help you, which I'm usually the person I help everybody. But your name is going to be on the list at the end of the month, or they sometimes wait to the quarter because they want to deny you your unemployment. And that's how they do you, man. I done seen it happen. And it's usually when they get ready and do that fuckery on you, when HR puts the hammer on your ass, is a black woman or a white woman or LGBTQ special, BLT sandwich on you, and you don't get a chance to talk to the big manager. You don't get a chance to do that. There's a liaison, and that's middle management and HR in some places. And a lot of times we don't want to speak on that because we be working for these companies and people don't want to say nothing because they know that their job could be in danger if you speak out against this shit.
Yeah.
You know, office politics is real, and black men are not in control of office politics in corporate America. She's being disingenuous, brother. 100.
All right. Excellent. Like the video, guys. Let's keep going.
I can't speak to that. I don't know. But I'm just talking about black men and black women navigating white America. Do you think that black men would get hired over a similarly credentialed black woman?
Yeah.
Because why is that?
Just because you're a man. And you have the credential, because like any company I've ever worked for, especially even though there's a lot of women there, the leadership teams are always mostly men, and there's probably 1 or 2 women.
But okay, so with that being said, if a white man who you've recognized, and I think your movement recognizes, is in charge, right? Who is he more enthusiastic about hiring?
I would say most men would prefer to hire other men.
No, I'll tell you. So he's more enthusiastic about hiring himself first. Then he's enthusiastic because, again, we both work in corporate America. He's enthusiastic about hiring hot chicks. And he might start with white women. But second, he's going to black women. He's not enthused. There's no
Yeah,
scenario in this country.
but that's the female advantage I was talking about. It's not
Okay.
It's not like I'm getting hired because she's going to come here and that doesn't.
Okay, perfect. So you're saying the female advantage is that you would get hired over me if we had similar credentials, correct?
No, because now you're conflating. Things.
Okay, so we both work at a company and we both have similar credentials. The company is owned and run by white men.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they more enthusiastic about hiring? My black male self or your black female self?
It depends because you as the man, if this position was something that they felt was probably more important, they would probably trust it with the man, and they would
a black man.
If it was just me and you there.
Mm-hmm. Again, but we have to take all these things into consideration, right? So they're not hiring for a C-suite position or anything like that. They're hiring for somebody who's a subordinate. Would they be more enthusiastic, this white boss man, more enthusiastic about giving you an opportunity or me an opportunity?
It's like it doesn't, because I think it's way more to it than that. It's way more, because I can't even honestly answer that question. It depends on. It really depends on the kind of position it is. Some positions I know they want a woman in that position.
Well, generally, and I'm speaking generally, and that's why I started with the building analogy, because you admitted that you would get into my building first, correct? Because you're a woman.
But you were talking about like a residential building.
Yeah, but it was a metaphor.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. You said a residential building. You weren't. I didn't know you were talking about a job or a company or a career.
But again, the building, and that's why I went into the reasons why you would get in. The reasons why you would get in is because you pose less of a threat. The reasons why you would be hired is because not only do you pose less of a threat, you also help them check off 2 boxes. So when we put that in context with why are black men not employed at the same rate, we have to consider those things.
Put that in context because for one.
And let me pause right here to add on to this. Let me add on to this. Not only you check off 2 boxes, but you are easy to get screwed. Now, if white men run these corporations, which they do, they fill their quota and get access to black box. I remember there was a book that was written 24 years ago. It was on the Cow Network. You might have heard about the Spreader Pro Speak. And I think the guy asked this one black sister, Miss, when do you had sexual encounters, encounters with a white man? And she paused because in certain parts of corporate world, if you're not too fat as a woman per se, right? And you look good enough, they will hire you just to fill that quota and will kindly want access to your box, ladies. Which you will get.
Not only that, Chaos, but check this out. Now, I've seen this from experience because I filled out these forms and went to these different interviews for doing stuff with my venture capitalist stuff and some of my intellectual property as well as come to my engineering for the solar power deal I was doing. And I had to go and I had to visit University of Houston. I had to visit the Houston Development Centers, like Houston Technology Development Center, these different places. So on this application, they have boxes to be checked. It's funny that they were speaking on these boxes, right? Mm-hmm. So on the application, now I'm trying to fill out the application all the way right, okay? But then there's not a right, or they always say there's not a right or a wrong way to fill out this test or this application. Just fill it out as you normally would fill it. That's what they always tell you, but that's a lie because the answers are fed into a matrix of whether or not they're going to accept you. So every box that you check increases the amount that you might get that grant or that research money or that loan, that forgivable loan to do your project or whatnot. So the boxes were as follows. Of course, you got the race box. Okay, you put your race, regular. They got non-Hispanic black. They got regular black. They got Hispanic, all the way Hispanic. Pacific Islander. Sometimes they have Native American, sometimes they do not, which I think is totally racist. But yeah, and then sometimes they'll have a mix button, but they won't be. That shit does. They didn't have that on there. They didn't have that. They didn't have none of that. So then on the other one, it says, "Are you a minority and or minority woman or female?" It's on the application. Now it said, "Are you a minority?" So basically saying, "All right, I'm a minority, right? I'm a black man, definitely a minority for sure in America." So, you know, I could check that box, but the woman got the extra box because it says, "Are you a minority and or a female or a woman?" So that's a double box. So that's a 50% more chance that they'll hire you because they get government kickbacks for doing so. So the fact that they brought up affirmative action and she tried to be so defensive towards it just shows her play. And I think my brother's handling it admirably. He's breaking it down and he's breaking her down inside of the whole interview, where basically it's saying that, hey, you know what? You're actually admitting that you get preferential treatment as a woman, while at the same tongue telling us that black men get hired faster when you know it's a lie. And it's just an exercise of futility.
Of course, of course. And we all know they're not in the business of hiring Negroes, certain group of Negroes, certain sexes of Negroes. But let's keep going.
And black men are simply not applying. That's the other thing. They're simply not applying.
So what are the numbers that you're going by to validate that?
For one, if black men are not getting employed, I mean, if black men are not getting educated, right? A lot of times these jobs need education. So if you're not educated and you don't have that degree, they're not going to hire you. And you don't have that's just one of the things that helps me get into the places I get into.
So perfect question. At what age do you give up on black boys?
What?
No, what? I mean, quick.
Oh, whoa.
And she's lying because the applying thing is a lie too, which I told a woman this today. It's funny, Shango said he had to deal with some of this today. I did too, bro, because I went to a popular audio nationwide chain to get a job one day. Of course, I do music, right? So I was like, man, it's a perfect job made for me to work for this center of guitars. Let's just say, right? And there was an LGBT BLT sandwich type of person that was the manager, that was the hiring manager, and also the GM. And to go against the lady's point that's speaking right now, I don't know her name, but to go against her point, I was there and I actually was basically interviewing as my first interview. And I was applying for Pro Audio, which is everything that deals with computers as they relate to music and audio, period. So, she asked me, they ask you a couple of like stinger questions. Like if you don't know this, they try to see if, what you wrote on this application or your resume is false. So they hit me with a stinger and said, hey, what is Firewire? And I explained what 1394 interface and protocol meant and what it did and how it was faster than USB 1 and 2.0 at the time. And, basically created, into the lightning cables now, but that was originally some Apple stuff. But Windows eventually licensed some of the technology and you was able to use 1394. That's why it was 1394 and Firewire, because it was two separate deals, but they still work together. And she said, well, that's not true because it only works on Apple Mac. I said, no, ma'am, I just installed a 1394 because we had to use a keyboard that had it. And I did it on Windows. It was like Windows XP back then, like Windows ME. I was doing that shit then. And she was like, no, that doesn't exist. That you can't do that. We'll call you back later. And I was just wondering, like, why I'm like most quality. And I go to this guitar center, I buy stuff from them, thousands of dollars worth of shit. And I'm there playing the keyboard all the time and making, songs in there on their shit. And I was like, well, who is better of a person to do this but me? So who did they hire? Well, she winds up hiring a little white guy. He was very, very inefficient in his knowledge of the pro audio as it relates to computers and music, but he was manageable. See, she's the manager. So a smart, educated black man that knows his stuff and is getting your job, he may be unmanageable because now he's a manager. So if he's a possible manager, do we hire him, Chaos?
Nope. You take out the competition.
Exactly. So the BLT sandwich crew said, no, we don't need a strong, brother in here willing to speak his piece. And hey, he's on an interview and he's arguing with me on the first day, telling me that what I told him that was a lie, he's doing it in his garage. So we absolutely do not want him in here because he may very well possibly take my job. So they're going to hire a pleb, someone that's submissive, you know what I'm saying, and will do what they say do at the cost of the customers because they have less product knowledge and less sales experience. They do that to black men all the time in interviews, and we don't say nothing about it because it's just another job that we know we'd be perfect for that we don't know why we didn't get. But, upon further retrospection, I saw a lot of that stuff, man, and I didn't complain about it. I just kept going. But, I'm glad that we all here today. And I'm funny that she's speaking on that like that because we can have this conversation, brother. I can tell you she's fully wrong. And I think she knows it.
Okay. Let's keep going. I don't want to stay up here doing this lengthy stream, but, let's keep going.
You jumped. You totally jumped.
Now, mind you, this is not no laugh matter. This is fucking serious. We all know the epidemic we have in our communities. And we all know black boys that become black men are very much today performing.
This is how I would imagine Kamala would laugh. Every time she gets nervous, she's got the tick. And she laughs, right? Like right when they said, well, Ukrainian people are dying. And she said they were Poland, which is with his prime minister. And she just busts out and laughs. They're asking her a question. She's VP of the free world. And she says, can I defer to you? The Polish minister looking like, bitch, we in NATO. Y'all is the king of this shit. You better say something. And she like, well, you take this one. Like this is.
But that's why she's not fucking president. That's why she's not president. She's not gonna be president. You think somebody's gonna risk this nation putting somebody or selecting a certain group of individuals for the whole world to watch and laugh at America? That's already a laughingstock as is.
Man, Saudi Arabia is making fun of this man on there. They got Kamala on there ushering him. Saudi Arabia now. Just seconds ago, Trump had the damn Abraham Accords going, and the shit was falling down. The shit was, everybody was getting down. OPEC was with what we was doing because we keeping them honest by making sure our wells pumping more than theirs. Keeping them honest. That's gonna make them drop the price if they want to sell anything. Now we gonna ban our shit. It's like if you wanted to make everything more expensive, you couldn't have did a better job of doing it. It's almost like someone else was in control, Chaos. Now, I'm just saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist, so don't take that no further.
All right. Let's keep going.
Did you hear the question?
No, yeah, I heard you, but like,
okay.
Are you?
No, and the reason I asked that is because you're saying black men don't. And I want to bring it back to black boys. At what age does he cross the threshold from a boy who grew up in shitty situations and because of testosterone trauma, he became this black man that you despise? When do you cut that off? And he no longer deserves any empathy or consideration about the things that led him there.
I don't really see it like that. I don't know. I don't have an age that I give up on them. I think that what I'm saying is when black men, like as full-grown men, right?
16, 18, 21.
I don't know. I do not have an age.
Dude, what do you think is reasonable? Drinking age? Ageless consent. Like what do you think?
Let me tell you something specific that I would give up on. A grown man that's 45 years old earning $900 a month. Should I give up on him?
Absolutely.
Should I keep it around?
No, you should absolutely give up on him. I agree with you.
And it'll be men like that, all entitled to submission, all entitled. You don't have any education. You don't have any income. You don't have anything. You don't have a plan. You don't have a mission. You don't have anything for me to submit to. And it's these kinds of men that have all of these problems and all this correction and direction for women, and what you need to do in order to get a man. But these collective of black men, they are not making themselves better. Okay, so when a boy decides, whatever age he is, that this is where he's at and this is where he's stopping, and I'm going to stop here, that's the problem. That's the point that you give up, because any point he decides to stop trying and he decides to lay down and just stay down and stay where he's at, then that's where everybody should give up, because you have to make yourself better. You have to make yourself into the kind of woman into the kind of man that a woman would want.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think we are both in agreement of that. I think, where we do diverge is like, I'm saying, for instance, with the submission piece, you should submit to the man that you're with.
Yeah.
And if you're with the man, regardless of how well or poorly he's doing, you knew who he was when you signed up for him. So for you to now complain about who he is idiotic, right? With that being said, when you look at the white male manosphere and the black male manosphere, they're essentially saying the same thing. So there's nothing really unique to the black male manosphere outside of the fact that they're talking about how belligerent our women have become and how entitled our women have become.
And the black manosphere are saying two different things.
Okay, tell me, what do you think is the difference?
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. I want to hear this bullshit.
I want to hear this shit.
Yeah, I always wondered.
Share the stream. I know I don't do reaction videos, but I make exceptions to the rule for certain conversations. And what this
is prime time fuckery right here. We got to investigate this here, dog.
Yeah, and mind you, this brother, I'm not what his age is. I gotta reach out and have him on either on my channel or on a call show, whatever. I gotta have a conversation with his brother, because he put out some very unique content, and he's being with respectful and grace and asking the question, and he's putting these ladies to the ringer, to the test.
No. Every time, like, he's letting her say, and that's why I was saying, don't cut people off. Old schools used to say it. I think it became cliche, but it's true. The reason it's cliche is because it's true. Because if you let a person keep talking, you will learn who they really is. Let her go ahead and respond in the absurdity that she is trying to create. And now we can look and glean on that. And then he hits back. I mean, he's a rapid fire, man. He ain't semi-auto. That boy rapid fire. He coming right there quick with it. And then that's it. And he let her respond. And she really is killing her whole argument. That's the best way to win, when you let the other person that you're arguing with, to destroy themselves in what their argument is.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, essentially.
One of the differences is that the white manosphere does not complain about women that have degrees and have money. They complain about women that are gold diggers and women that have women that don't really want a man for for himself. They only want a man for his money.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think the white manosphere complains about that? Because that's something that their women, that's a collective problem for them that they see as a problem.
I mean, it's simple. Black women are far out educating white. I mean, so that's not a problem that they run into. The other piece is that white women tend to not pedestalize their education as a reason why they should be deserving of a certain type of man, whereas black women do. So the interactions are different. But
right. But
as a whole,
the same thing though.
But as a whole, it's about male grievances with women. That's pretty much what it is. Our grievances are different because of our racial experiences, but essentially they're saying the same thing.
But it's not really. It's like generally men complaining about women, but the whys are, what they are saying matters.
So why do you think it's so different? Why do you think it's so different? What do you think colors it?
Because like white men, for example, they don't tell their women to choose better. You should have chose better. They don't just say choose better. They also know that they have to give their women something to choose better from.
Hold on, let's stay there. So you said
that's a lie. That's a damn lie.
Let me say this. I don't follow manosphere entirely. I besides what's over here dealing with black people. But if I really investigated and did some study on the white side of things, it'd be far-fetched that it's anything a little bit more different from what's saying from the men's side over this.
They say the same thing.
It's too different.
Exactly. So when people say when they talk about manosphere, I gotta look at as a whole. You get me?
Right.
You can't look at them and say that. And when people hear about manosphere, they say they talking about black men. No, look at it as a whole, because really the real components of it is in its infancy and its existence to adulthood of it was Caucasian white men. They're the ones talking about men's advocacy.
Right.
And mind you, I know
MRA,
BJS,
all the MRA shit, all that.
Yeah, now mind you, I heard BJS one time say that black man creates something before the white man creates something. Which we can have that. But I'm thinking when we look at the real in depth about it, these Caucasian men have been seeking this, taking action plans in regards to men advocacy for some time now. Before even black men. Before black men start jumping on us. Black men are late.
Look, I've seen a couple more maybe than you done seen, because I've seen a couple of them, and I will be looking at the titles more so, Chaos, than whether that's a white manosphere content creator or black. I'm just looking at it as the men's right thing. If your title is saying something that I could, identify with, let me check this out. And a lot of the white manosphere creator, I say it's two different ones, right? Mm-hmm. You got the white manosphere creator who, let's say he's a retired old ass white man that had been divorced maybe 2 or 3 times. They done took him to the cleaners. He finally is still alive, and he can still talk. He don't have to worry about his job. Now there's that guy, okay? And then there's the younger white dudes who I've seen where they be more like kind of seem like they be kind of like, I ain't gonna say copying, but mirroring at best our talking points as well. But it seemed like they coincided along the lines of some of the titles that you would see. So to separate the black manosphere and the white manosphere, I understand we race and this and that, and black people have different stuff, but when it comes down to the court, as a man without decent lawyers, you're gonna get treated the same damn way. I don't give it. And even with the Latino, they didn't start infecting their women now. See, they getting infected. I work right beside a big time immigration / child support office, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a Latino woman who is usually pretty good with the kids on average. You ain't talking about all. On average, they pretty good with the kids. Even if they, know they old man got 20 different bitches, they usually down with it. But I saw a Latino woman in the parking lot. Now, I know a little Spanish. I heard the little child talking. And this is a real story, I'm telling you. He said, basically, he said he wanted his father. He was saying Poppy, though. He was like, and she was like, no, you got your ninas, which is like your sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The little kids, the ninas, ninas girl, nino boy. And he was like, no, he was crying out there in front of the child support office as they taking this brother, his Latino brother, to to the, you know what I'm saying, to the doghouse, and she slapped the boy, beat him down so bad. I said, "Ooh, man, what? The man just was asking for his father. You gonna beat him down? So when you got your sisters, you don't need him. I'm putting him on child support. Fuck him." And I said, "Damn." You know, even in Spanish, they getting took to this. I said, "Man, you know what? All men have this problem." And the moment that you separate it, you know what I'm saying, and say that black men created this problem, that's stupid for what she's saying. It's dumb, you know, because all men is having this problem. Just we as black men, we got a whole bunch of other problems when it come down with us that we got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, it's just a compound effect on us. But, you know, once again, once people get so relegated and, you know, they can go and get that hire and get up in that corporate and, you know, be around white zaddy, you know, it's easy to talk about brothers then. It's real easy because you ain't relying on them. That's why they talking about that divesting shit. Like, we're going to get a white man. You keep on having that dream. Keep on having that dream. You might get to it, but you ain't no Kamala and you damn sure ain't no Ketanji Jackson because, you know what I'm saying, that ain't going to happen.
All right, good. I have somebody else that came on the panel. Is that you, Black Uru? Are you serious?
Right, what was that?
Was that Black Uru? I seen the hammer on there.
Yeah.
Oh!
Maybe that's his phone. Maybe a phone call or something?
I have no idea, man.
They don't tell their women to choose better. Why do you think that is?
Because the type of men that white women have to choose from are good options.
That's not why. They don't tell their women to choose better because their women haven't made it a point to get on the internet, TV, whatever, and perpetuate this notion that black men aren't ish or white men aren't ish. It's black women who do that. So the response, the response to men aren't shit is choose better men. Women don't say men aren't shit. So there's no response.
Why are white men still complaining then?
Well, in my experience, when I watch the white manosphere, they're talking about like the girls who choose the jocks over the nerds, and you know how they can seem more like jocks instead of nerds. Whereas the black manosphere tends to be a lot more nuanced because it's including trauma, it's including the racialization of how we move through the world. So when I'm talking about the black manosphere, we're responding as men to the things that our women are saying and doing. And part of the choose better narrative is acknowledging that women have an incredible power to literally dictate the marketplace. A friend of mine made a really good point the other day. He said, you know, black women feel like we're not listening to them. But a couple years ago, black women said they like their men bearded. Now you step outside, every dude you see is trying to grow a struggle beard. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate accomplishment for malehood, and this is consistent across animal species, is the ability to mate. So we listen to y'all. Black women have said, I want men to go get money. Men are risking their lives and their freedom to go get money. I want men to look a certain type of way. Men are going to, you know, but on the flip side, we're also saying we don't get that same grace, particularly from our own women. We don't get the grace of empathy. We don't get the grace of understanding. And we get blamed as me, right? I've had to deal with things that I had nothing to do with in an attempt to love and honor and cherish and join in partnership with a woman. But another woman might say, oh, whatever you been through with your mom or whatever you've been through in your other relationships, that's their business. But I have to deal with your bullshit. And that's all men are saying.
Do you really think that black men collectively have leveled up and have, because I don't think black men have made all of these changes because black women asked them to. Like, black men have been comparing black women to white women for like decades and decades and decades now. Okay. And, you know, they've been pushing colorism and this, you know, they've been pushing that narrative for decades and decades now. Okay. Black women have been said a long time ago. We don't care what color of woman that you choose to be with. Could you just keep black women out of it? If you want to be with a white woman, go be with a white woman. Nobody really cares.
I think.
Well, the problem, this will apply to the female side of things, but you must understand, anytime when someone is flossing another group of person to the group of people, by default, they really want one of their own. Because I know few people that have divested personally, or they have saved themselves, or what you want to call it nowadays. You don't hear from them again. They just gone.
Yep.
So simple that. And they know it because they know respectfully that this is their mate and they're going to walk away respectfully. But you can't find what most Negroes. And the most of the excuse I hear from a lot of Negroes, they be saying that, I got to interact with this community. I said, yeah, you're going to be around people, but there's a way how you approach and deal with people. I mean, see, that statement alone is nonsense. Personally, in my opinion. But, let's keep going.
Yeah, and most times, from what I see, even if that man if he is dealing with another racial woman, black women still complain about it, regardless. He could be just walking around with a white woman, and they will still complain.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah,
That's a fair critique, and I have the same critique for some people in the divesting movement who make it a point to talk about how white masculinity is superior. So we can't be critical of something and do the same thing on the flip side. Because at the end of the day, all I'm interested in, and like I've said it on my channel before, I only want to interview black men who are interested in black women who are interested in black men. For the ones who aren't, there's really not a conversation to have. And that's why I'm curious about you, because I understand that the opposite of love is not hate. It's actually apathy. But you still want to have these conversations. So my question to you is why are you still having these conversations if you are divested and you've given up?
Because it's something that I think is important, because people always, act like they don't know where this movement came from. They act like, why are black women saying this? Why are black women doing this? And I think that it's important to be able to verbalize it and spell it out. And, even you just saying that, black women should be able to go off and not talk about black men when they're with white men. Yeah, after decades of black men doing the same thing, and black women are only just now responding. It's just it's so interesting to me that everybody wants divestors to be quiet after so long of black men not being quiet.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a Kevin Samuels tactic. You have a Thanos glove and you snapped your fingers in the perfect world. What does that look like for you? What would you want to happen? Blue sky theory. What do you want to happen?
You mean for myself or for like the black community or something?
For all the above. For yourself, for the divest movement, for the black community. You can take it wherever you want to go.
I want black women to be with who they want to be with, without being, without people worrying about or trying to shame them out of it. And, trying to paint this like some sort of like racist extremist movement or something, that black women just don't want to be with black men anymore, or they're just tired of this and they're just deciding to walk away. I want black women to do whatever the heck they want to do. Let us wear our weave. Let us wear our natural hair. Let us wear our makeup. Let us do whatever we want to do. Okay. I want black women to do whatever they want to do. And that's exactly why I'm a divestor that still talks to who I want to talk to, because that's what divesting is also about. You can do what you want to do.
Now it's interesting she say in regards to what they're doing is extremists. I'm not sure that makes logic sense You going outside racist extremists. That's something new to me. I know it was new to y'all guys. But last time I checked, for the last couple decades, majority of black people, right, if they're successful or not, have crossover. Let me see what this is. Okay. How you doing, Mr. Z?
What's going on? It's really me, Chaos.
I know it's you because now you see, and because I don't know if it was Vanga brought some particular weird person here, but it's interesting that there's ways to verify. Anyway, what's good? What's on your mind, brother?
No, I've been listening for a while. I wasn't coming up, but I've been listening, and I saw the original, and yeah, this lady, I look, okay, she's pretty much saying it now, and I have this theory also that we've made the world comfortable enough where people aren't necessarily looking for relationships for stability. They're looking for relationships for luxury. And men are supposed to provide that luxury, right, for women. And so the way this young lady is processing black men is a very, very market-based Milton Friedman-esque assessment of black men, which is, okay, black men are black, strike number one. Black men are not, in mass aggregate, aren't upper middle class and rich, strike number two. Black men haven't built Wakanda, strike number three. Although black men built America, so they're actually wrong about that. But anyway, their assessment. So black men are a problem because black men are black men in a white racist society. So, I mean, she's saying it right now, right? She wants black women to be able to do whatever they want to do. And I mean, her and other divestors have this idea that if they can just, and she's saying she's a divestor that essentially still messes with black men, which is interesting. I shout out to all the black men who date women like this that think the worst of black men. You think you're the exception, though. You thought you merit your way in. She'll show you soon enough. But yeah. So for many divestors, it's just they have an issue with what they see in the mirror, and they're trying to escape it. And so regurgitating anti-black talking points directed at black men, and I'll pause after this. This young lady feels justified in what she's saying. That's why she brought up Kevin Samuels, and that's why she brought up supposedly black men been talking crap and comparing black women to white women for decades. This is that weird cosmic justice thing.
That's something new. So when somebody say decades, that means this has been going on for more than 20 years.
Yeah, I mean,
since when the black man, even with the advent of the internet and then social media came around in the last 22 years, roughly say, to now, that how has this been an ongoing push where most of these dudes that have been doing the history on content of any nature that women had a platform shitting on men. And I don't really talk about that until certain content creators start revealing the perpetrators that was talking about men for a good long time by the same Caucasus or the same Zadie they worship and like, to now when black men have it, they can't even handle even the soft or hardcore parts of it for the last 10 years.
It's all of this is excuses. Look, it's just their idea. This is weird. This is that cosmic justice idea. In other words, nothing I say and do is bad enough because one black boy overlooked me in middle school, or my great granddad did my great grandma wrong, or the jock that I liked in college liked a light skinned black woman, or whatever black male celebrity I find attractive is dating or married to or having sex with a non-black woman, or a light-skinned black woman, or a racially ambiguous black woman, or just a black woman that's not of my likeness, right? So it's always some cosmic justice justification for why it's okay to talk crazy about black men. This is where these weird notions of get back come from. it's a moral pedestalization of why it's okay for a black woman to do it and why it's not okay for a black man to do it. So that's essentially what she's saying. Black men have been doing this to black women for decades, so it's okay for us to sound like neo-Nazis about you because what we're doing is this weird karma, cosmic justice, cosmic get back type thing. And this is just a justification to talk crazy about black men, right? If you tell yourself that black men been doing this to black women for decades, then now you feel justified in doing it in response, even if it's really not it's really not that black men have been doing this for decades. So once again, it's you're getting off on it. You just want to have whatever weird way of justifying why this is okay. And I heard this young lady speak. I've heard other swirlers and divestors speak. They Dennis Sperling interviewed that conservative black woman.
I'm not going to talk with that. Listen,
okay.
Listen,
but yeah,
I'm gonna tell you a secret about her. Since I mentioned her, and mind you, I looked at her. She doesn't look like a fat, and look like she's not too ugly looking. But my thing is this: you say you don't fuck niggas, but you aborted one child that is from a nigga. Then find out you're on a female YouTube channel, which you know I'm talking about, I'm not gonna say name, and you admit that the so-called non-black man you're doing, your zaddy, forced an abortion by causing trauma, physical harm to you, where you lost the baby. So I'm thinking, are you on here just to get some male attention? Because damn sure not a white male counterpart. And even to go as notion that he's trying to knock you up, sweetie, at your age, because she's at the wall stage now. Next year should be at the wall. That you wasted your precious time and you did not sit down because the dudes that you were fucking sucking have not made no serious long-term commitment that want to take you seriously. Personally. They're not because you could be a conservative or Republican all you want, but at the end of the day, unless a man owns and claims you, you're just a cum duster.
I'm happy you said that. There's two things. I'm gonna shut up after this and let you talk. I got some stuff to do. Yes, it is attention seeking. And quite frankly, for any of us that's ever had any white male friends, white male associates, people you've chilled with, gone to happy hour with, white men don't care nothing about what these black women are talking about. The white men that like black women, and the masses of white men that are not interested, there is nothing ever in human history that black women can do to make them interested. These white men on occasion will have sex with a black woman just to knock it off their bucket list, but the masses of white men that are not interested in black women are just not interested in black women. And you can regurgitate all the racist talking points you want, it doesn't matter, they're not interested. That's number one. Number two, these particular women, they occupy this weird space between being traditional and being modern at the same time, being liberal and being conservative at the same time, because for them it's about getting the best of everything, right? So that's why oftentimes they will say something right now and then maybe 30 minutes later say something completely different, because it is attempting to use Marxian language while using Milton Friedman, Ayn Rand language at the same time, right? So she is claiming to be, well, there's other black women, I'm not going to say her, but that claim to adopt more of a conservative traditional worldview because they want to be the kept housewife white woman, but then at the same time they'll make certain liberal and more modern arguments about femininity and about women being able to do whatever they want to do. Well, if you know anything about conservatism, women don't get to do whatever they want to do. You have a role and this is your role, and your man dictates much of it. So once you start talking about women doing whatever they want to do, then you're no longer in traditional land anymore. You're no longer speaking in a conservative tongue, right? So once again, like I said, these women want everything. And that's why oftentimes they sound schizophrenic and delusional, because they're trying to square a round circle, right? So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's pretty much they want to be open to everything, and they want to have a lifeline in everything. So in case this goes bad, I can go back to here, or this go bad, I can go back to here. You know, it's just it's sad.
Brother Bro Speak. That was the whole end game with this so-called directional movement. They said they're done with this set group of men. Okay. You're not done. You're still lingering around here. And not only that, it will go south with these other group of men because they look at them as just like most majority men. If they're not taking you seriously, you are just what they call a fuck. And most men would tell a lot of these ladies that you must understand that difference between someone that takes and make you more than something than what you are, or you're just a fuck. Is one or two boxes you're in. And most majority of non-black men, white, whatever you want to call it, they look at our sisters as that fuck. And once they have their fun, they send them back to the streets. And throughout the streets, they come back to the brothers, unfortunately. And it's easy to have your fun come back to this community because, let's be honest, majority of black men don't have no motherfucking standards. And that needs to change. And it's going to eventually change, regardless, depending on what generation you are as a man. You're going to make it a way where you're going to make this change. Because there's no way hell you could sit there and go fucking suck on one community and it don't go well. You come back here after you might, and God knows you carry a child from them, you're going to come back here and then think it's going to be all cool and dandy.
Yeah, but look, yeah, what I say too is this. Think about it. If they were so happy on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you look at the happy black women in happy marriages with white men or otherwise.
Okay.
You name the hottest one that's got a YouTube channel that's speaking this shit that they so happy about. Right? Okay. It don't exist. And if it do, it'll exist for a short while and the bitch may kill him on a carnival cruise in the Bahamas. Or, you know, he kills her. You know?
Okay.
I want us to think about something also. Here's something to think about. We talk about, and I'm not going to say the actual word. I'm going to spell it out because I don't want, the channel to get strike. We talk about the INCELS people all the time, right? The men.
Yeah.
What do their female equivalents sound like? What do they look like? What do they advocate for, right? Now, we put race into it. How would a black FEMCELS sound like, right? Or how would those their female counterparts, their black female counterparts sound? And what I would argue is what we see all over the divester space, all over the swirler space, is FEMCELS, right? That is, and it's not so much involuntary as much as it is throwing a temper tantrum, an adult temper tantrum, because you can't get the specific black man you want, right? Or you can't keep him. Just like how the white dudes treat you, he may have sex with you for a few months. He might do the whole, mini relationship for 2-3 months thing with you, but you can't keep him, right? It's like the dudes that are not that attractive that try to buy women and the chick just use you for your money for like 3 months, 6 months. That, what I'm saying is when we look at women like this, particularly black women like this, I'm going to start to use that term more, that FEMCELS. And I know some of us use it already, but I'm going to start implementing that into my vocabulary more because that is what we're seeing. We're seeing adult women throwing especially when we start talking about the Stefkos of the world, this young lady right here who's on the screen of the world. These are women who are not happy with their choices in potential mates, right? They want a specific type of man, specific type of black man. And oftentimes, like I said earlier, they can't get them or they can at least keep them. And so they're throwing temper tantrums, and that is FEMCELS like behavior, because that is what it is. And I'll pause right there.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right, bro. You're right, brother. The woman that was in there earlier was talking about she was just with the toys, right? I'll just use that example. She was talking about she's a toy user and she don't need no black man or no white man, if I'm quoting her correctly. And I was just like, hey, ain't no difference if ain't no difference, whatever. It's a difference because it's a difference between that toy and a real man. You know what I'm saying? So
If you saying that, you're trying to
I
convince
call her
yourself.
a femcel. I was joking. I called her a femcel. I don't think she knew the term. And she said, "What is that?" If you go back through the chat, you'll see.
Yeah.
She said, "What is that?" And I didn't respond because I was just trying to respond to the video. But yeah, you make a good point. Where does the other counterpart? What does it look like? And I say that some of them now. Get ready for the conspiracy theory and get ready for the hate to come after I say this. Prepare yourselves. Steal thyself. I'm going to add one to your list there, boss. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say some of these involuntary feminine cells is some of these, not all, but some, they go and play for the other team. I said there's a contingent of them that could be ruled as femcells as well.
I mean, well, I agree with you. I think I said that a couple of nights ago, on Art New Styles channel, which is definitely what we're gonna have. And I'm really gonna shut up after this, Chaos. I'm not gonna monopolize your time like that.
I'm gonna run this tape for like another 15 minutes because this is long enough. But go ahead.
So I really think what we're gonna see in our lifetime, because all of us, we're not old yet. We're not, we're in our 30s and 40s. What we're gonna see, or maybe our late 20s, in our lifetime, within it, I'm giving it about the next 2 decades to watch this play out, right? Is more and more Black women engaging in that rainbow flag lifestyle, right? This is going to what you're saying. Because if you think you're better than your Black male counterparts, or at least you think your Black male counterparts think they're better than you, and non-Black men aren't desirous in any great number to partner with you, what options do you really have then? You priced yourself out the game, right? Because you're thinking, what, I have my education, I'm this level of woman, I'm better than these Black men.
Right. You're
then
overvaluing your product.
Exactly. And then white, Latino, and Asian men, for the most part, aren't interested, right? Or the ones that are, they already got a wife, they got 2 side chicks. So what now? So he already got a Black wife, he got 2 Black side chicks. So what, you would be number 3, number 4? So now you priced yourself out the game. So you are, if you want to be in a relationship with someone, you either have to humble yourself and end up sneaking around your Black boyfriend's back on these social media websites talking about how horrible Black men are, or you engage in rainbow flag activity. And I'm saying over the next couple decades, I think women in general are going to engage more and more in these type of activities, but I think Black women specifically, because they really think they're better than their Black male counterparts, and anti-Blackness and white supremacy is still a thing, and these non-Black men are not going to engage in these delusional relationships that these women have. And not only that, I think you're going to see more and more of these women who do engage in these relationships run into the wall that the average white dude, and definitely the median white dude, does not even have the money and the status you think he has just because he's white. Hey, what you're really talking about is the upper middle class white dude, right? So,
all right. So I gotta run this tape because I want to. All right.
There's not really these like tight, strict rules. I don't. There's certain things that, like, I mean, no, I'm probably not gonna marry a Black man, but I mean, I can still talk.
Oh, wait, you said probably, so there's hope. You haven't divested.
I have divested.
Okay, so why didn't you say I won't marry a Black man? You said I probably won't.
Because I'm just trying to be, I'm not trying to be overly combative, because that's the thing that happens on these channels. I'll come onto a channel that I was invited on, and then people will try to flip it like I got here and I started acting a fool and started saying all this crazy stuff. And that's not really like what I'm doing. I'm only here because I was invited to be here. That's it. And I even saw people in your comments saying, this is going to be a hot mess.
I saw it too, and I responded.
No, I'm just trying to be not combative.
Okay,
even on my channel, if you just I just want to say real fast, even on my channel, I don't use any of this harsh language that I hear some other divestors using, simply because I just don't really. I want my channel to be kind of more chill and more laid back. And I tell Black women how to travel, how to save money on traveling, safe places to travel at, whether you're single or in a group. Certain fields or certain areas you should try moving to, and things like that, especially if you're raising kids by yourself and you're trying to get out of a dangerous neighborhood. I think Black women need to get the heck out of these dangerous neighborhoods, these dangerous Black communities with their small kids. They need to move. They need to move out of there.
So, and I think that's an excellent message, and I agree with that message. I wanted to have a conversation with you because I will never give up on Black women, regardless of if they've given up on us. So for the men that you've given up on, what is your message for them? Because you could have declined this. Because 90% of my audience is male. So like, you're not talking to women and being like, come over here on this side. You're talking to men. So why do you still care to talk to me and my audience?
I only came because for one, I was invited, and like I said, I think that it's important for people to also who want to know, really, because I hear a bunch of lies and a bunch of crazy stuff about divesting, and it's a white supremacist thing or something like that. And I want to set the record straight for what it actually is.
So you're like a foreign relations
person. I guess you could say that. That's what I am.
Okay.
I even have people on my channel that just tell me all the time, "Don't go over there. Don't talk to them."
Oh yeah, I saw it. I
am fine. I'm very careful who I bring onto my channel. Because I have a whole lot of Black women that that watch, and I'm trying to be respectful of my audience as well. But I'm definitely perfectly fine to, and people always say, "Oh, you don't want your views challenged. You can't handle a conversation." Yes, I can. The conversation I was supposed to have with Obsidian on Tina's documentary, I was looking forward to that conversation. I don't know why he didn't show up.
That's not me. But what?
Let me pause it. I said this on part one, which it was not part, but this is part two. That the old man doesn't go on anything in which, unless he's going to profit or use as content, so that way nothing is smearing of what he does or what he writes on his own shit.
Right.
If he declined or did not want to show, that means there was no full agreement. The one he did with Miss Young and Mr. C with nobody's, because he watched that our little upload he did months ago, that he had to record that because he was like most brothers that are part of certain space. They wrote a hit piece article on this, and he want to make sure he recorded his end during his interview, so there's nothing miscued, so it could create more form of propaganda, which they do, which they have done successfully. This is my advice.
Supremacy, right? Look, she was saying that she don't want people to misjudge her because she said that it was calling her a white supremacist and all of this stuff, and she said she's not that. She said she's some foreign dignitary for all Black women who want to get white men and get out of the hood, allegedly. And then you still over here in our space, but you was invited. Okay, and then that's why you came, only reason. But then you try to disassociate yourself with the white supremacist connotation. But in the same breath, you keep calling yourself a part of the divester community and trying to change the definition. If you're going to, you should just change. You should say, well, I'm not really a divester, sir. I'm just a woman who got a white man and I like him, and if we break up, I might get with a black man and it ain't tripping. You intentionally saying I'm a divester, knowing what all that comes with. Okay, you just even admitted you seen some of the other women divestors that you don't talk like that. You trying to make your channel a chill channel. I'm using her words only, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can break this shit down so fast. You are trying to make that connotation saying, well, I'm not a white supremacist. I just like fucking white men and talking about black men, but I still want to fuck y'all, and that's why I'm over here, but only because I'm invited. Am I wrong here?
In other words, you want to be a white woman. That what you just said is what white. That's some white woman stuff. Is think about what you just said. I want to have sex with black men while being around white men or having sex with white men also. Essentially, you have mandingo fantasies just like white women have mandingo fantasies. So you essentially want to be when I say want to be a white woman, let's be clear what I'm saying. You want to be the woman who marries into the status and the money and the gravitas and of upper middle class white women while secretly having sex with black men and having your back blown out and having all of those mandingo fantasies. That's exactly what isn't that the stereotypical like upper middle class white woman?
Yeah, that's the same white woman fantasy. You like literally.
That's what I'm saying. So in other words, yeah. So I mean, once again, shout out to BGS. Shout out to all the people who have mentioned this before. The myth of white womanhood. That's what we're talking about still, decades later, centuries later. Honestly.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But let me keep playing.
What can? Because I think I'm a documentary filmmaker on the side, so I'm really like curious about things from the perspective. Because I'm gonna address you as somebody who's post divesting, because you've already divested. I don't believe it, but you say you've already divested fully.
Believe it.
Because what you did was a Freudian slip. You said I'm probably not gonna marry a black man. You didn't say I won't marry a black man. Those are two different things. But that's by the way. That's by the way. That's by the way. So with that being said, how can black men who care deeply about black women, how can we, black men like me, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the whole nine, how can we do a better job to not push our women to that extreme?
Probably
because you guys are too far gone, right? Are the ones who've divested, are they too far gone?
I would say.
So how can we prevent?
Well, I'll give you the answer, my Nigerian friend. You let them go. I say good luck. May God bless you over there. And when you're over there, please, for the grace of God and the Almighty, or wherever spirit you pray to, stay over there. Do not look back over here. Everything happens, we just go look at it and we're going to wave and say, she was such a wonderful soul. It's what a waste. What a fucking waste.
Yeah, and that's
exactly.
I sit there and I look at it just like that sometimes. And like I say, I don't want no black woman to ever know or ever think that I care about her having sex with a white man. If that's what you want to do and that's what you like, go ahead. But now calling yourself a divester and explicitly saying why you don't want to be with black men. Now that's a whole different ballgame. I see interracial couples all the time here in Texas. All the time. You feel me? Just go to your local Walmart. You see them.
Yep.
You see way more BLT sandwich commercials. I'll say that. You know, BLT sandwiches. You know, the BLTs. You know.
That's what happens when the relationship fails with the white man.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hold up.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Aisha Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm just let people reminisce on that one.
Black women, absolutely. Okay. I do, and I also think that more black women. Every black woman is not going to be a divester. Divestors do not date black men. Mm-hmm. Okay. But every black woman.
I don't believe that, but keep going. Keep going.
every black woman should at least be open to swirling. You have to be open. You have to consider other men. You cannot just consider black men. That's the only way you're going to die alone, is if you only consider black men. Okay.
Wow.
I was trying to talk to this other channel, and she's asking me why, when in your company, why didn't you date a black guy? Because there's none there. All right. Because there's none there. And we can talk about the whys and the systemic racism and the systems of oppression that keep black men out. But I'm sorry, black men have y'all have too much to say. Y'all have a whole lot of critique, and I don't really see y'all making the moves that you need to make.
This is some white racist talk.
You start all of this correction. All right. And I said, maybe if there was a black guy around me, maybe I would date him, but there's none there. So is it a black woman's responsibility to reach back and date somebody that is not in her class just for the sake of having a black family? No, that's not her job.
I think
Could you pause it right here real quick?
No. Before you say something, let me add this. It's good that she mentioned that, because when they talk about class, we got to understand class in this society. If you're not this racial group of people, there's no such thing as fucking class in America. That's a construct created by them. You see your black bourgeoisie, but they have to still fall on their knees to servitude to these group of people. And that's just a fact. And I'm not sure why people get this illusion that we are all one and the same and thing has changed. No, it's changed. Things has kept running and operating as it's been done for centuries since the inception of the United States. And not only that, we go further, where she upper proclaiming that, they're not gonna die alone. Okay, that's fine. No one said you could die alone. But if your decision say you're gonna be picking whoever say conversation and that you should be swirling, my one question I should ask, if that was the case that y'all just now start doing this, why do you have more babies than black men, but every group of racial men have more babies than their women? What have you been doing, bitch? With the extra 1 million and 2 babies. And it's not by the 20% of black men. Where are these babies come from? When Mr. Igmore and Mrs. Spurling pulled out on their channels. And you couldn't give, and then he asked one woman, this young woman, and they couldn't answer it. I tell where the babies come from.
You saw her, right? She was stuck.
You know where these babies come? They come from through your bastardization of other groups of men. I know from my side, I'm not going deep in my side of the family, but one of them had a child by a non-black man. Did you know this so-called bastard boy knocked it up? And not even playing a role to being father, he listened to his white mother and his white grandmother telling them, say, you leave her. We want to do her. You know what he did? He wanted to do her. So you're not only competing with the other pool of other men. If black woman is a claim she's competing, which she don't want to compete, which she refuse, you gotta deal with their mothers. Because their mothers don't accept your black ass.
Yeah.
They say the white fathers don't accept us. I agree with that. So what makes difference that the white mother is the same? She's just like the Caucasian man. She see your black ass my way and say, wait, what are you doing with my son? They'll sit in ears, so don't even entertain it. And if you do, you might also left that alone. Have people forgot the movie The House They Pre?
Race is class in America. And I understand that a lot of black people who have some education and have a bit of money, what they're attempting to do now is class their way out of their race, right? Exactly. Class their way out of their race. And they're throwing a fit because they can't. Because white society, it's a forced classification, right? It's not something black people are necessarily imposing on themselves. It's the outside that's imposing it, right? It's the dominant society that's imposing it. So what we really see is black people throwing a temper tantrum and throwing a fit at other black people because you're stuck in the barrel with us even though you've done everything you possibly can to climb out the barrel. The owner of the barrel continues to push you back in. And so you're throwing a fit at the other crabs in the barrel because you're stuck in the barrel with the crabs, right? And not only that, the young lady did say something I found interesting. So now that she's, and this is the frightening thing about how right Malcolm X was. You know, now that she's in environments with these white people, she's starting to sound like a white racist woman, right? So like this,
Yeah.
once again, this is the fear that sometimes I have about integration, right? If you never fixed the white racist system, but you integrated a bunch of your children into a white racist system, what do you think they're going to sound like after the 2, 3, 4, 5 decades of integration?
Bro,
What,
look, here, I'm gonna
mind
tell
you,
you something. Hey,
real
right
quick, real
there,
quick,
you
real
right
quick.
on that. You right on that. I've seen
Hmm.
it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it from the, let's just say, the Caribbean side coming in one
Hmm.
generation to America, right?
Hmm.
She's like, let's just say, I ain't gonna say undesirable. Let's just say, lower on the sexual market value place, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
She's a black Caribbean first gen, and her daughter will be second gen, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So she's married to the uber is racist white man.
Yeah.
Okay. And then not only is she married to him, but the daughter is growing up mixed, right? Mixed.
Yeah.
And then she, instead of her, and her mother is dark skinned Caribbean Indian, right?
Hmm.
So she's growing up, she looks more like she's ambiguous, like you were saying earlier, chaos with the
Racially
racial.
ambiguous looking.
She looked like
Yeah.
she a Mexican,
Hmm.
right? That's that Indian in her and mixed with a white man, right?
Mhm.
So she got ADOS, you know, or like Caribbean DOS or whatever the fuck, and then uh white man, and then you know what I'm saying, Indian,
Hmm.
but dark skinned Indian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I hear the daughter talk, which is the second generation, she just graduated, she's getting that racist overtone
Hmm.
of the shit. And just like you was said other day, like, well, how would Willow Smith know to write a letter to a man who is
Mm.
not even living, who was not popular while she was even born? Man, been dead because the parents sitting there talking about it. So imagine a woman living with a racist and all they talk
Yeah.
about is niggas all day.
Well,
And
so
I'm
you
like,
what you're, and
and
this is
they're
the fear that
amnesia.
I have with that, Scattered. Is this okay? Those daughters end up being the people that corporate America hired to be their PR people. Those are the people that corporate America is going to pick out and be like, you know what? We need to fill in a quota for president. We don't have enough women of color on our board. Who's here? Oh, look, we have this mixed chick. Her mom is from the Caribbean. Her dad is white. She might be a little cute. She look racially ambiguous as hell. Yeah, that's perfect,
Mhm.
right? And then that person is who they put the microphone in front of when your son gets in trouble with the cops, or when the cops, harass your nephew, or when the cops might even kill, your niece. That's who. I'm sorry. Yeah, my background. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm outside. But no, yeah. So that's who they put the microphone in front of. That's who they pick out. They pick out these oftentimes very talented, very intelligent, sometimes very attractive black people who are broken geniuses, right? So like that's number one. But what I was saying earlier about class, this young lady is telling us something. She's surrounded by non-black people, and now she sounds like a non-black person, and not just the way she's speaking, right, but her ideas of the black community and of
The
black
talking
men.
point. Yeah, you're right.
you
The
know
talking point.
the talking points, and that what's what's frightening, and this is what I'm stressing, this is what I was saying earlier. This is the type of person that white racists, primarily on the right side of the political spectrum, but the lefties do this too in their own way. But this is the type of person that people on the right leaning side of the political spectrum, these are the people that they pedestalize, right? These are your Candace Owens of the world, right? And and this is how you combat when we talk about racism or anti-blackness, or wealth and power and influence and all that other stuff. This is how they drag out one of these type of people and be like, well, racism, I mean, we have such hashtag black woman, and she says that racism is just a figment of black men's imagination, and weak black men are the ones who's complaining about it, and racism is really not an issue. So I mean, we got to be careful when we have these conversations with these people and well, I mean, I'm not gonna say explain, because I know that some of us, we just won't engage in it, and it's not our job. But for the rest of us, maybe we engage these people and explain to them why their mentality is so dangerous. The problem is some of these people do know that their mentality is dangerous, and that's the whole point. They're so mad at the black community, they want to scorch earth it, right? So it's damn there, it's kamikaze. I want to kamikaze the black community, even if I'm in it because I can't get what I want out of it, then I will destroy it, even if I'm still in it when it's being destroyed.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. I mean, they want to burn, they're gonna let it burn. And whoever's in the casualty of the fire, it is what it is. It is chaos, nonetheless. But let's keep going. I'm probably gonna play a few more minutes of this and then might call it tonight.
I think what's dangerous about this type of rhetoric, because it's I see a lot of similarities with the Save Yourself Black Man movement. Like, I'm critical of that as well. And my biggest critique is that if you think you're going to outrun your problems, from a psychological standpoint, you really just repeat it. Like, you'll see women who've had dysfunctional relationships with black men, they go over to white men and they have dysfunctional relationships. You have women who have dysfunctional relationships with men,
But actually,
they switch.
our marriages with white men last the longest.
I'll get to that. They switch and they start dating, lesbian women, and they still have problems. I think Pink Pill was one of the original founders. She spent all that time talking about how white men are superior. Now she's getting a divorce. So she got a. So I think the idea.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hold on. You know what? Hey, Shatter.
Wait, Chaos, you didn't know that?
On a side note, we're going when this
Yep.
stream we got
that cat, bro. He ain't missing no shots, bro.
Yeah, he's good.
He's not playing.
He's good. He's good. He's good. But wait, Chaos, you didn't know that? You didn't know Crystal and Karen got a divorce?
No, I knew that.
Oh, okay,
but it's funny to hear when this man mentioned it, and they talk about but she wrote a book for the book came out 10 years ago, I believe. She was doing it now for maybe longer than that, and all of a sudden now she divorced, and now I heard rumors she was messing around with a
black man. Yep.
And
black man. But let me keep going. Let's keep going. I got some this up.
Of outrunning your problems, I think it's a very dangerous idea because it puts the onus on everybody and everything else but yourself.
Pink Pill was married for 20 years before she divorced. Okay.
Sure.
I think that a lot of people misrepresent so much things that they hear and stuff that they think is true and think that happened. Pink Pill.
No, I only brought that up because I thought it was funny. With that being said, men and women alike.
Bro, it was funny. Let's stop capping.
Yeah, it was hilarious. All that shot, build that white dude up.
She knew what the point was. She was pretending like she didn't know what he was saying. She knows exactly what he's saying and why he brought it up. That's why she tried to defend it. Well, she was married for 20 years. It doesn't matter if it ends in a divorce at the end of the day, right? All the kids aren't grown. All her kids are not grown, so the divorce still means something. So let when those marriage nuptials say till death do us part. And if you exit out before death, before one of you died, then it failed. Period. And I'm done.
That's it. It still failed.
Let's keep going. Let's go.
Yourself to the point where you put yourself in spaces where the type and caliber of people that you want are available. So. I know
that's all you're doing. So as a successful black woman that earns a decent salary and yes has some student loan debt, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be around the type of caliber of people that you want to be around that are in your dating pool.
Sure.
Okay. Again, I brought up those Supreme Court candidates because they all married the men who was in their circle. in their dating pool. I think Kentaji is like
and that's my point, because we're not having a full and robust conversation. We're simply just saying that, oh, they married the white men because the white men are more qualified. We're not having a conversation about
that's not that that's
well, that's what I hear a lot. Their disposition with white men is different than their disposition with successful black men.
That's not true.
Okay.
Oh no, it is true, sweetie. It's so true. That you see, let me say something. The black man must fly. The black man must walk or crawl, whatever you want to call it, while the white man flies his way. Because you set a higher standard bar.
She's gonna lift him up to fly, right? She's gonna give whatever who was got the wings in the Roman mythology, right? Icarus. Okay, so she's gonna give Icarus the wings to fly, because guess what? Does he be questioned 24/7 about every damn thing possible under the earth constantly? No, that white man with these divestors. Now I ain't saying with a regular black woman, because I've had white partners of mine who I used to work with. He had a bad black chick. I'll tell you straight up, I was like, damn, boy, you shit. Boy, that motherfucker fine. And I'm like, man, you got her? Now he wasn't a super fucking John Cena looking ass white boy or some shit. You know, he was just a little short white guy, cool, smart, you know what I'm saying? He kept his car clean, and he kept his hair cut. He was just a regular white boy. Shit, I was about to get ready and give him a warning, but I felt like, well, you've been dealing with black women for a long time, and you got you a nice one. It seemed like everything's going great.
You know what the question becomes, and what we're seeing here, and the angle that she's posing. Are black women the only people on the planet that actually want justice? Right? And I know it sounds like I'm going somewhere off tangent. I'm really not. If everybody else is essentially trying to be white men, white women are trying to be white men, or well, some of them, black men are trying to be white men, Asian men are trying to be white men, Arab men are trying to be white men, indigenous men are trying to be white men, Latino men are trying to be white men, Asian women are trying to be white men. Everybody's trying to be white men except for black women. The way this woman and not even just divestors, the way black women in general speak in America, especially, is that everybody else is actually trying to be as abusive and as horrible and as toxic as white men. Just have the money and power that you get to skip. You get to skip over how horrible you are, right? And black women are the only ones seeking justice. They're the only ones seeking equality. They're the only ones seeking fairness. And the way this young lady is speaking is that, you know, black men are moral degenerates, right? And black women aren't. Black women are just simply morally superior to black men, right? And if I'm pretty sure by the end of this conversation, she's gonna prove it. I mean, she's already proved that. That's how she thinks. But as she speaks more, you will see that. You will see more. You're gonna see more of this from black women. They're just gonna keep on running into the wall of anti-blackness for the masses of them, the swirlers and divestors included, right? That is why we see them breaking, because some of them have been dating white men for a decade or plus, and they still don't got a ring. And some of them don't even have the mixed kid. You imagine, you think you're better than black men. You've been dating white and Latino men for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and you ain't never been married yet. And you don't even got the oops baby. If you don't even got the oops baby and you don't have no ring, so that means you just a bust down for white dudes.
That's what it is. How much more time left in this? I want to get through the next 8 minutes of this.
Go ahead.
And to give a summary, this stream today, for those that's listening, and as its title, you must give him what he wants, as particularly the black man, because as the picture and the avatar shows it. I mean, the picture and the thumbnail. That ladies, do you give the black man what he wants? Or you create hurdles, you create certain unrealistic standards, which a lot of them said the standards are simple, but when we hear otherwise from other podcast streams, it has seemed to me is a little bit unrealistic. So the question we ask, do you give him what he wants? This is part 2 segment for Miss Black Beauty or any other woman that want to know what is this about. Let's continue.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That's not true.
What's not true?
You don't. I don't know why black men think it's an act, that like you're just acting more feminine. You know, you're not really more feminine. You're just acting like it. You know, it. I said this again. All right. He is doing what he is supposed to do as a man. He is where he is the high earner. He is the, even if he wasn't, but we're talking about Supreme Court here. Okay. So everyone in this, you know,
But
realm.
I'm comparing.
What do you mean? You said even if he wasn't. So you tell me you take mediocrity, Caucasoid?
Yes, because it's
you see,
the
that
whites paying dividends.
See right there. You just told on yourself.
Yeah.
Stupid. You just told on yourself. Let's keep going.
I'm comparing similar like some of the people who've like found me on LinkedIn, for instance, for this channel, they are directors for Fortune 500 companies, black men. So I'm talking about that caliber of black man and that caliber of white man.
Okay.
Not getting the same type of femininity from our black women. Why is that?
Because that's not, I don't think that's true. There are not enough.
But these are no, and again, I want to boil it down. These are their experiences.
No.
So these men,
I don't believe that. I do not believe that because there is not enough black men of that caliber to even honestly have that conversation. There's not.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I agree with you. There's not enough. If I have any say, there will be more. With that being said, even the ones who are that caliber, where they are just as, if not better, than the white guy, they still do not have the same experiences. Why is that? Can we explain that piece? Because I talk to the white dudes too, and they say the same thing. So why is that?
I don't.
Oh, one thing, Shatter. What link is that you put in the chat room? Shatter, you there? Shatter, you there? Damn, he's muted. Okay.
I don't think that's
yeah.
true.
I'm here. That was my link. I was just giving that to Black Beauty. She said that Icarus, that survival junk.
Okay. I got you. All right, let me keep going. I gotta go for this.
I think that
I understand you might not think it's true, but this is what my research is telling you. I've talked to white dudes and they're like, yeah, she talked to me different, even though I make less money than this black dude. And I've talked to black dudes and like, yeah, she talked to me different, even more money than this white dude.
So a white guy and a black guy both dated the same black woman, and they both told you this.
Not necessarily the same black woman, but in different experiences, yes. Their experiences tend to be different. And now I can understand where it comes from. I can understand where it comes from because I consider history. But most people don't understand where it comes from. But the reality is, as a successful black man, you do not get the same disposition.
That's not true. That's not true. Okay. First of all, as a black woman, I'm telling you, and I notice you say we a lot, and like you know, you kind of put yourself with African Americans.
Yeah.
And I get you've been here for a long time, so I guess that's why you do that. But it's
because I'm not different.
Well,
I'm not different. I pay homage to Marcus Garvey, to Frederick Douglass, to I'm not different. The only difference is I'm an African who actually understands Black history and how Black history influenced African history, and not the other way around. Don't let nobody lie to you.
Stop right there, and that is the point. See,
she tried to use him. She tried to play him.
Oh, listen. A lot of people must understand this. You might fool some, but you're not fooling all. The man you see on this panel here, he's not only accomplished, but he makes the time and energy to re-educate himself of the history and the place of not only what Black people play here in America, but how they affect the world and how Black Africans globally affect and change the dynamics of how the world is shaped today. See, the problem with a lot of people today, they're very ignorant of understanding their place in the world and how they shape the world in history. We don't go for the traumas. We don't go through the steps that led to the trauma to where we are today. The people that he named, because he took the time out of his life to really investigate and study these people that shape and mold the mindset of people. And I always ask most of these ladies, all kinds of crazy ladies, when you do these channels and these streams and these shows, do you take in consideration the real history and apply it that no matter what you say, you're going to still go back to where you start at? You don't. Because you come on here and it's more convenient because the algorithm allows you to talk and shit about this side of the group of men because it's safer. Period. Don't talk about anybody else. Don't fucking dare talk about it. There is consequence for that. But it's always safe to talk about the black man. That's why I tell people many times, as a black man, when you use these channels, use it respectfully and use it to your advantage to push back effectively. And that's where it's going to move forward. This man had to sit here for almost hours and hours with this lady. And now he has to sit there, post a question, but had to make sure, let's say, you're going to answer or not. And not only that, I'm telling you, I'm no different, separate from most majority black men. I'm well versed and I understand the history, which most black people are ignorant to. You come and spill this vitriol, this what it called femicide, where all these little these stupid labels. At the end of the day, it doesn't have shit to do with why you still not acting right as a woman today in the 21st century. That's a choice. You're lenient to other groups of men besides your own because you're trying to get favors to them. They're hoping that you get some of their, I guess, respectability and grace that you'll become one of them. And that is
good luck.
That is simply not true. So that's my little rant. Let me finish play this.
But with that being said, this narrative that black men get a better disposition if they're doing better, that's what I'm telling you is not true. And I'm a black man.
I do not believe that is even, I don't even think you can even properly, come to that conclusion with so few black men doing.
And what I'm saying to you, because I think empathy is very important. So if I was saying these are the experiences of men I read about, that'd be one thing. If I was saying to you, these are the experiences of men in my comments, that'd be different. If I was saying to you, these are the experiences of my friends, that'd be different. These are my experiences as well. So what do you have to say to that? Like, am I crazy? Are these thousands of men crazy?
Because you're I just, every time I've ever heard any body, like I've seen these guys talk about how they make money and they're going to go get a white woman now because black women are so masculine.
But we're not talking about them. That's not the conversation. The conversation I'm having is, imagine 1,000 me's, black men who are committed to black women. Black women are our only option. There's never if you ever see me swirl, you know that I'm beat. Like a black woman shot me and my mom in the face. Like, it's got to be on that level, right? So,
God damn, brother, not that.
So for those men
Chaos,
who are committed.
So there's something that I want to point out about this. She's purposely denying what he's saying because she wants to truly put out there that you can merit your way into the sensibilities of black women. In other words, it's almost like we're not watching Will and Jada's situation. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are a prime example that if she's not in love with you, it doesn't matter what you do, you cannot merit your way into making her be in love with you. This lady knows that that's essentially what this guy is saying. Look, I know men, white men and black men, who are well accomplished, and the white men understand that they get a better treatment from black women than the well accomplished white men. This also goes to where she slipped up, where you caught her Chaos, where she said even the white men that aren't, which is her saying even the non-accomplished white men in a white racist society we're going to treat better because they're white men, right? So
exactly,
she's acting like, because she knows where he's going. She knows, and she's outright saying no and repudiating that, because what she's really trying to say is, well, if y'all would just get y'all act together, then we'll just rest in our femininity. We understand that's a lie. What
she's
truly
in defiance of his entire. He's been breaking her down, and what's cool is she's trying to say she's being non-confrontational, and that's why she's not going back and forth with the people in the chat. And
well, understand when women say, oftentimes, let me not say, oftentimes when women say they're being non-confrontational, even though they're being confrontational, what they really mean is, I'm not barking at you, I'm not using profanity, I'm not, even though their ideas are confrontational, even though the words that they use or the tone in their voice, what they're really saying is, I'm not yelling, I'm not using profanity, but in actuality, we understand that she's being very confrontational, but because she's not barking at him and she's not using profanity, for her, she's saying, oh, I'm not being confrontational. Yes, you are, but that's okay.
That's like the number one thing they teach you in diplomat school and OGA school. You know what I'm saying? Is that the way that you do you circumvent the things that you're arguing with the counterpoint with by doing exactly what she's doing right now, by claiming to be non-confrontational, yet you're telling me the same outcome. You're just not using no cuss words. I say that it's more, it opens your eyes more to how the method. It's the revelation of the method that we're watching here. It's the revelation of the method of how, some weak-minded men could be able to listen to this and actually, now not none of us over here, but I can see how some of these people without proper guidance and these type of things, which comes back to what she said earlier, which she said that the seems like the man sphere or the manosphere, she basically lumped everything in together, is not helping other brothers, specifically to where it's black brothers, to come together on anything. So it doesn't seem like any black men could come together on doing anything. So I'm just going to hit divest and go to the white man. Yet and still, you're in a black man space looking for something. You say you invited, but you're looking for something to gain out of it. So if it was irrelevant and not worth anything, why would she glean us with her presence, my brother?
Yeah. All right. Let me keep going. 5 more minutes, and I'm calling this day.
Who are doing the right things based on male curriculums or whatever the case may be, and we're still eating shit. What can you say to us?
I'm saying that I don't see that as being a real problem because there are not enough black men.
What's the definition of gaslighting?
Making somebody believe that their reality is not real.
What did you just do?
Got her ass.
You're not your reality. Your reality is.
You're stuttering because that's what you just did.
He got her.
I'm stuttering because I sometimes stutter.
She's giggling because he got her too.
Channel. Okay, I've always been a stutterer, and I've been working on it my whole life.
Okay.
That's the end of it. I'm done with that shit.
He got her.
It's already 3 hours. It's already. I'm already stretched the limit of this. I was gonna go, and I was gonna do like the other half, but after going through this and we go back for our rants, I think it proves the point that black men, you're gonna get these women on their shit. You must keep applying the pressure with the facts, the information, and challenge them on these notions when it's presented. I'm saying this personally because, like I said, I don't watch enough content here, and I know there's so much content here that we have back and forth with the ladies and the men. But when we have real serious conversations that, in regards why you do what you do, if you can't clearly logically tell me why you do what you do, it tells me you're doing this because you're coming from a place of hurt. You hope and look for escapism, and thinking that there's comfort and safe over the other side. You think that's the best bet, but we all know that's not the case. As you know, these other groups of people never give a crap about us. Matter of fact, when these things happen to us, when we go over their side, as a man, I turn the other way on both men and women once they decide to go outside the community, because now you're venturing off another territory to people that's already secure in their environment. They don't get processed.
You said something, Chaos, very important. The word you just used, escapism, that is what this is. That is that this is clinical level escapism, and we're watching. And this has been my argument since I came into the Black Manosphere a couple years ago. I've been listening from afar. I've been listening since Sergeant Willie P. and Avenue Rants. For those of you that remember Avenue Rants way back when, right? So that's how long I've been listening to the Black Manosphere, or to the Manosphere in general, and to the Black Manosphere specifically. What I'm saying is the world is changing so fast. The economic realities for people are so dire. Black people are being gaslit and tell, well, it's not really racism. You got Ketanji Brown and you got Kamala Harris and you got Barack Obama, and yet we're still on a socioeconomic bottom that is causing people in general to crack. Black people is specifically to crack, Black women even more specifically to shatter, right? And when you see these particular women, these divestors and swirlers, this is how they engage in escapism. It's a mythical white man or non-Black man, but white man specifically, that's going to come and take them out of all of this financial hurt that they're dealing with. Because think about what we're saying, especially for Black women like her, college educated, they might have a master's degree, they're 60, 70, 100, 120, $150,000 in student loan debt. At the lightest, they're $25,000 in student loan debt. At the heaviest, it might even go up to $250,000 in student loan debt. When they look at that and they see they're never going to pay that off, when they look at their job and they're only making, if they're lucky, anywhere from like $35,000 to maybe $60,000, $70,000 a year, they don't ever see them potentially buying a house. They're still driving around in the Toyota Corolla they got from their grandparent when they were in high school. They done had the car for damn 15 years now, right? When they look at their life and they look at that struggle, it's killing them. And so a magical Black man, if they could get one, but they already know Black men are struggling like them. So the way they engage with escapism is by these fantastical notions of an upper middle class to rich white man that's going to come and sweep them off their feet and take them from all these struggles. It is escapism. You sit, that is the perfect word. It is escapism. And it's truly sad to watch people in general, young people, is usually people under the age of 45, right? Young people, primarily millennials and Gen Z now, engage in this extreme escapism, right? And this delusion. And I think we haven't really seen these people crack yet. I don't think they're fully broken yet. We're going to watch these people break as they walk into their 40s and early 50s. When the door is clearly closed. Because if you in your 30s as a woman, especially a Black woman, when we consider simps and we consider how low Black men standards are, you could still have a teeny bit of hope. But once you start getting into your 40s and definitely by your early 50s, and it's clear that it ain't no train coming, that's it. Oh yeah, man. We didn't trust me. You're gonna be watching these women all over the place popping pills left and right. Maybe even I'll call it, what is it, senpaku, whatever the term is in Japanese for self-deletion. But yeah, we're gonna see them engaging in that I think we're gonna see men engaging in that too. I'm not gonna lie to you, even more than women, because we actually are successful in it. But unfortunately, but yeah, you're gonna see people engaging in that because the struggle is real, and quite frankly, most people don't have the answers. The institutions don't have the answers. And so when you tried your escapist route and it failed, like I said, if you're the bust down for white dudes for a decade, yeah, you're gonna be popping pills and maybe commit or attempt to commit suicide. I'll pause right there. I don't know what y'all think about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave that as the final word. Anybody else? Because I'm about to shut this down. Keep it short because I'm about to just bro speak. Anything?
Well, thank you for having me up, Chaos. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, they said it all. I mean, it's a form of escapism. It's a way to get away from your problems, and also what they also do is put the blame on Black men for their problems instead of looking in the mirror. And unfortunately, there's some Black men who believe that, and that's why I think that while it like the other guy said, it'll be worse on men because men don't have that as far as women do. Women still gonna have the guys who's going to take their side and still try to beg them to come back to the fold. Men don't have that often. You know, you have some women, but the only ones that will do that is for the guys who are really attractive or have the money. If you're not, they don't care, and so yeah, you're gonna have more suicides on self deletion on the men's side than the women's side, because they're always gonna have some group that's going to try to help them, and then what they're gonna do, turn on that group anyway, because they really don't want to be around them anyway. They want to be with the mythical white dude that they've been fantasizing about. But thank you for having me on the panel, Chaos.
Thank you. And Shatter Star Games. What about you?
Man, I think everybody really kind of hit from different points, man, making the same, basically the issue basically come out on this situation, because it's too many, not all, like you were saying earlier, not all, but it's too many. I had this conversation with a family member, a female family member of mine today, and it's funny that we talking about this. And the femcel thing and the incel thing, one thing about what you said earlier, and I think Z was saying too, man, is like, you see what this stuff is going at. You see this dude, you know, I don't know if he's a plant or if he's just some organic dude, but they call him an incel and all this, and they saying they trying to lump him in with manosphere stuff. I see it coming, because they waiting on that, you know, that narrative they can build. Mm-hmm. They're gonna try to Elliot Roger this dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said in the lead of his page, you know, so they can adjust the narrative. And I'm like, man, that dude ain't part of no real manosphere, because if he was a real man, and I hate when women start looking at that. That's why I say I don't want to be associated with none of that. It's like I keep telling people, when they made these incel words, I tell you again, we did not have that word when I was coming up. Well, no such thing as no damn incels. Okay, get up in the morning, cut your hair, put on some clean clothes, and wash your ass, and go to school, and don't flunk out and don't fuck up too damn much. You'll get as many women as you want. And I don't see where this incel stuff even come from. It's like it's almost like it's being manufactured, these terms and stuff like that. You know, if I was just a tinfoil hat wearer, I would say, you know, it just fits the narrative so great where they trying to craft this narrative. And at the end of the day, if we all talk about black excellence and kings and queens, you know, I don't call myself a king. I call myself more of a wizard. You know, I'm more like Merlin. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, everybody can have their own speak on it. But if we're going to create all of that in the black excellence, when we speak on divesting, you know, black men, we speak on, oh, we go outside the race. But I never heard black men come up with channels, Chaos, calling themselves divestors. That word is synonymous with black women going to what race of men?
Mostly white men, because the white men are most in this majority in the country. This country.
Bam. There we go. That's all I wanted to say, bro.
Okay, good. For those that, if y'all didn't really contribute to the channel, you know what it is. You know, I did put the Cash App and all that and nice stuff. But like always, like the stream, share it. You ask a question, Miss Beauty. I throw a question to ask if you are subscribed to the channel or you hit the top notification bell. That's the best bet when I will go live again. Maybe over the weekend, possibly. We shall see. But if you're not subscribed to the channel and hit the top notification, you will just won't know. Now, will you get me? Like always, follow me on Twitter at ChaosReign7. And, you know, add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Green on Facebook. And one other thing I do want to say, I also have a Discord service for those that want to add me on Discord. I'm trying to build up right now. But other than that, just keep a lookout. I think today's stream was very interesting. Something that I normally don't cover, but like I said, when I do these so-called video look and reactions, it's always something to really dial home to the conversation of the title. And the title is, ladies, do you give him what he wants? Because we know you damn sure will give other groups of men what they want. And for whatever reason, the man that's doing what he should be doing should get not only the same respect, but what he wants. Especially a man that's about something and productive. Now, if you refuse to say you don't give him what you want, and you're expecting some mysterious, lavish lifestyle or whatever you're expecting, then by all means, are you willing to put in the work to get that? And by default, majority of women are not willing to do what's necessary. And I'm going to tell you this personally, nothing's guaranteed in this world. But all I know is one thing. It's better being with a mate that's being productive and being by your side than having nothing at all. Had nothing at all. And I think one thing what society's doing is they're making and creating antisocial people. And with antisocial people, it will breed into problems in the future. We don't want people being on psych meds, doing weird stuff, unusual stuff. Hell, I heard stories, people are having intercourse with animals, especially black people now. I've been hearing this now for years. I saw one video of it. So it tells you the longer we immerse ourselves in society, we're going to be in insanity. We're going to be crazy. We're going to think backwards, move backwards. Amos Wilson has said this in his works that for the world to operate the way it is, black people have to be backwards. And we're at that point as a people in a state of backwardsness, and we love it. So, like always, you know where to find me at. The chaos reigns.